What's going on, Internet? The Black Okage here, aka TBH. And to be honest, I'd like to welcome everybody back to the Game and Illuminati podcast. We are the Enlightened Gamers, and you're now tuned in to episode 190. If you're watching the video version of the show, at youtube.com/GI updates. Know this show's available on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and all other major podcast platforms. If you're watching on Apple or Spotify, be sure to rate the show 5 stars. And if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit the like button and then hit the hype button that appears after the like button. When you hit that hype button, the show will appear on YouTube's new hype charts, which helps bring in new viewers for the world's best weekly gaming podcast. If you enjoy social media, we drop content over there on our pages. We're available on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Discord, and Facebook. Our handles on most platforms is at GI Updates, with the exception being Facebook. It's facebook.com/GI podcast. Links to all our social media platforms will be in the description box below at youtube.com/GI Updates. Now, allow me to introduce you to my co-host, the first of which is sweating right now. Because right now, while we're recording, it's Game 7 between the Cavs and the Pistons, and this determines who goes to the Eastern Conference Finals versus the Knicks, where inevitably I hope they lose because I love watching the Knicks lose. So don't be shocked if his mood is all over the place during this recording. Ethos, say what up to the people.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Not looking good, but I have faith.
Hey, keep your head to the left because I can see the game on your fucking monitor. The
okay, hey everybody, we can all watch the game together. Y'all want to see the game? Y'all want to see what's going on?
That's crazy. My second co-host has come forth to admit she does plan on becoming a charcuterie board gamer for the rest of 2026. Don't worry, I'll be there with you because there's just too many good games coming out, and she's got to taste test everything. It's 5,000 watts. Say what up to the people.
Hello. Yeah, there's a lot of really good games that I know aren't 100% my thing, but they are getting so much praise that I want to try them. So I think it's always when you're in, if you can do it, obviously I don't expect everyone to be able to shell out the cash to be able to do this. But if you can do it, checking out the games that are getting super high praise just to see why, even if they're not the genre that you tend to like, I think is a good idea.
Yeah, and to be fair, you guys wanted us to move to a weekly show, so in order to be able to yap about something, we got to try some of these games. I'm not going to be able to beat them all, so it is what it is. And last but not least is the man who's missing in last week's episode because he had a hot date, but he's back, he's relaxed, and he's ready to yap. UTX, being a good husband, the Don. Say what up to the people, man.
Yeah, I want to say I heard Ethos as far as on your watch. Yeah, I got it for once because TBH is the first person to rag on me, to roast me. TBH was on my side. I listened to the pod.
What did I do?
Nah, now you don't remember.
Yeah, what I
said marriage.
Yeah,
gross. Podcasts are more important.
Yo, I don't know. I can either.
He was just going off. All right, bro.
I don't even know what y'all talking about.
Anyway, shout out to the community. I saw the comments. Everybody was like, hey, do your thing, man. We not mad at you. So I was like, hey, salute everybody. But we back. Like I said, I tried to make it work. So at least y'all can attest to that. I tried to make it work. My wife was like, I'm not trying to come back and how you do the pod. I said, you know what? I said, forget it, man. Y'all got it. Go ahead. But TBH admitted, we had some scheduling conflicts going on. We back to the regular schedule. So I'm here and I'm ready to pod.
I think people were just shocked because in this day and age, social media where everything's shot content, motherfuckers like, wait, he being a good husband? What the hell?
It's a little different when we do a weekly podcast too. So this is new territory for all of us. So like I said, we're making it happen, but I don't want any one person's absence to stop our streak. So if we can go and it go this whole year, that'll be a huge feat for us. So I'm trying to make it happen. We ain't stopping the streak over here, baby.
The averages are going up. They are going up. So we appreciate y'all. Hit that like button, hit that hype button. All right, let's get into these conversations. Let's talk these games. The first thing I want to talk about is a game that I was unaware even came out until my chat made me aware. And thank God somebody on this podcast played it. Miss 5,000 watts, I need you to talk about Directive 8020, the new game from Supermassive Games, the people who made Until Dawn. They are famous for making these choose your own adventure like type games where the choices you make affect the decisions inside the game and change the narrative. This one's a space one. I don't know too much about this one, so you got to give us the 411. What's the good, bad, and the ugly on Directive 8020?
Yeah, so this one is about basically your Earth is dying. It's a classic tale. Earth is dying. Humans got to go settle some other planet. Guess what? Oops, there's aliens. Everyone's dead. This one also happens on Tau Ceti. Strange. Tau Ceti F, not 4.
I was going to say, am I supposed to know what that is?
Oh, it's a marathon.
It's a
There's
marathon.
Sorry. There's also a movie about Tau Ceti, apparently. All in the same year. But anyway, so they were sending a colony ship over there to settle this planet and get it ready to move all of humanity over there. But then it kind of things go very, very, very bad, as it always does when you go to space and try to colonize it, which might be a good thing. Anyway, so this one is the big thing about Directive and 8020 and a lot of their games is that people can die. If you make certain decisions or you mess up certain sections, the people that you are experiencing the story through can permanently die. Now, there is an option to rewind, but I think if you're rewinding in your first playthrough, I don't know what you're doing. You could do that and to get other endings and other story branches. So yeah, you'll be talking and there'll be two options that you can pick. And then depending on what you pick, changes the personality of the characters and also changes the direction of the story. There is gameplay in the game as well. The gameplay in this one is a lot of stealth, which is based around like creeping around, trying to put the power on so that you can open a door and you've got to avoid an alien while it's happening and that kind of thing. It also does have really good Twitch integration because the way that they use it is you can just hook up your Twitch and then a poll will pop up in chat every time a decision comes up and chat can just vote in the poll. And then in your game, you will see the percentage of what people voted yes or no. So that was a really fun thing to do. It was really fun to stream this game because people, even if they're on mobile, whatever they're on, they could actually get involved with making decisions, which is cool. I've only been about 3 hours in. I think it puts me on, I'm almost on chapter 4. But I will say I was getting maybe a little bit tired of the stealth sections. Just because it was like, okay, here's a story thing that's happened. Okay, now we're going to stealth again. Here's the thing. Oh, we're doing a stealth section again. And granted, I'm not the target audience for stealth. I don't want to do stealth the entire game. But I was like, oh, it's starting to already feel a little formulaic in terms of when we're doing, oh, it's a gameplay section. We have to stealth. But graphically, it looks really good. It ran really well. The story so far has been interesting and the voice acting has been good. So yeah, I think if you like these kind of games, I've also heard, I know a lot of people who do like these kind of games and they said that this one is their favorite one so far of Supermassive's types of these games.
Let me ask you, because you said you feel like the stealth sections are a little bit redundant. I know that you're not big on stealth, but do you have a favorite stealth game?
Probably the OG Metal Gear games.
Okay, so like what were those games doing in terms of that kept you hooked versus what's wrong with this?
I think it's the variety and how you can stealth. Whereas at least and maybe this happens, as you get further into the game, that there's more options for you doing stealth stuff. But this was just like hiding behind boxes, hiding behind a railing, and that's kind of it in terms of stealth. So I'm literally just crouching around a room and hiding behind.
It's very bare bones.
Boxes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
There's no hiding in cardboard boxes or hiding,
right.
In the ceiling or shooting the lights out. I got you. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. That sounds boring to me too.
But maybe it opens up. I don't know.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
But the story has been good. It has been good. And it's definitely been creepy for sure. I think they nailed, because it is a horror choose your own adventure kind of game. And it's definitely creepy for sure.
Based off what you played, are you comfortable recommending it, or you need more time, or it's like, nah?
I'd probably need more time. Yeah, I think if you like these kind of games, I think it's pretty easy to recommend it because it does seem to be one of their better ones, especially if you like sci-fi, especially if you like horror. But if you're like, I don't really know if I like stealth, I don't know if I like these kind of choose your own adventure stuff, then I would wait and see, because the reviews are all over the place with this game.
Ethos JG, why y'all ain't play this game?
Same reason I didn't play it. We didn't play it the last time. We demand day one co-op. No day one co-op. I don't play it day one. I wait until they patch it in, just like the other last game we played.
I think maybe there's not. I know a lot of people were saying that they're planning on playing with their friends at the weekend. Does this one not have co-op?
Apparently, it doesn't have like the online co-op. Like,
it's got split screen co-op.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We when the Quarry came out, which was pretty funny. I think it was JG, right? It was me, JG.
Yeah.
Tony. There's like a couple of us. We had like 6 people. So we all hopped on the game and we played it. So the way we bypassed it was we did Parsec. So we had maybe the host computer, and then everyone else signs into my computer and watches it. And then whenever it was, we designated a character for each of us. And then we said, all right, when it's this person's turn, pause the game, and then hand control over to them. And then they would play their section. And then when it'd be someone else's hand over. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. So I like to continue that. I personally just wouldn't rather. I feel like these games are really fun when you play them with your friends.
That's why it was fun streaming it, because it's like it's a whole community being involved with the characters and the decisions and everything, and people are like arguing about, oh, why are you voting for that one?
Yeah. Because we played the quarry. Mistakes were made. People died.
Oh yeah, for sure.
People were blaming each other about why they got killed. But it really makes it a fun experience. Like I wonder if that affects like the review culture of it. Like I could imagine like people who review the game solo by themselves offline, who've playing it before the game came out, they probably perceived it, and maybe like what you said, Watch, like maybe they perceive it, and maybe I'd be curious to see the statistics on that. I wouldn't be shocked if they're lower on the scale of like.
Did they say they're adding co-op? Because then I gotta get some pushback. Is it? Oh, they said it. Okay, then
Chaos pinged me about it to let me know it was coming out, because that Chaos was the one that was like, let's play the quarry, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And Chaos keeps track of these games for me, so he's like, I'll let you know when a new one comes out so we can all play it together. And then he sent me a link, I think a day or two before, and I said, oh, let's play it. And then he sent me a link saying that they were gonna have I think it was at release they announced, and they said the week before it came out, they said we will not have online co-op available until a post launch update or something like that. So he was like, oh man. So we might have to
I just say that this would be really fun with friends.
I don't understand though. Like, didn't you learn your lesson from the quarry? Like,
that was a criticism of the quarry. That was
we're so far into this, and we want to play these games. Going back to what Wito said, when we played the quarry, like that was super fun. Like, first of all, we got our community super engaged, and two, like that was just one of the most fun like multiplayer streams that we had. Like that was a crap ton of fun playing that. And just seeing people make those little things.
Do you remember when Cammy and Homeless?
Homeless, oh my god, people were so mad at Homeless, bro. Oh my god, she missed her QT. It was so bad.
I hate to say it, bro. She said it herself. She said I lived up to the stereotype. I was like, oh,
she did.
I lived up to the horrible stereotype. I can't. Yeah.
It was so funny. So yeah, we need that. Like, I don't want to have to do parts. Like, even though it worked, like it was great when we did it, but we shouldn't have to go through that in order to play the game with friends. Especially if you're going to have all these characters and all their different paths. Like you said, it works the same way. Like you just have different stories and obviously different environments and now different gameplay now here that you have to do in this game compared to some of the other games that they've come out with. But I like the Dark Bitches. I would rather you wait. Like I don't think anybody is. Huh?
What did you say? The Dark Bitches? What are you talking about?
The dark pictures.
Pictures.
This dude. Oh my god, bro.
The Dark Bitches. Look, what game is that?
The dark pictures, man.
Okay, Davey, what does that have to do with
it?
I was lost. I was like, what?
I was like, what are you stopping me for? But anyways, yes. So the dark pictures. I don't think anybody is sitting up here saying, "Hey, man, I really want this new game right now. Like, I just need it right now." I would rather you give me all of the features instead of having me wait. Like, unless you all are getting pushed to come out with these games, which I would seriously hope not. Like, I don't think these games are, even though they're great, I don't think they're like super massive. Like everybody's clamoring for it, and you just have to hit this date. If you all are still like this are super massive, then we need to seriously have a talk. But I need you to come out with the game with co-op and not split screen co-op, because I mean, newsflash, we're in 2026. I can't be in the crib with Etho. We don't live in the same state. Like we can't. Like that's just not something that we could do. So I would rather them do that. But like I said, I want to play it, so I will wait for the co-op to come out, and then maybe we'll revisit this later.
Damn, I can't even defend the devs, because I was gonna say it sounded like Ethos was reviewing it based off what he wanted versus what they said. But if they said they was gonna put co-op in it, like I said, I didn't know this game even came out this week. I was just totally lost on this one. If that's what they said, I can't defend y'all. Y'all gonna have to put that out to get people more excited about the game. But it sounds like it's in an okay state. It just needs a little bit more love.
Yep.
What's the name? Time for a second opinion. Not Ethos, but JG has been clamoring about Dead as Disco, a new action game that's centered around music. I believe Watts got some time on it, and I did as well. So it's time for a second opinion. We know JG loves it, and I'll take the helms on this one. I'll go ahead and say I feel like this game plays like a mix between Hi-Fi Rush and Batman Arkham. Like whenever you punch and kick, it's on beat like Hi-Fi Rush, but then the combat does remind me a lot with the prompts of Batman Arkham. So I feel like if you love the Arkham series and you love music, there's no way you're not going to like this game, especially because I think that's part of the reason why people are excited about that Lego Batman game. It's just been a while since we got an Arkham game, kind of got that formula. This is right up y'all alley, but it has its own spin because even though it's borrowing elements from those two games, it has its own unique art style. It has a story mode, which, by the way, I was genuinely shocked by the boss fights. They were cool. They tested different types of reflexes. I think my only criticism of that would be that it felt the boss fights were a little bullet spongy. There's no bullets in it, but like they lasted a little too long. I was like, all right, bro, come on, because if you're gonna last that long, I would have wished they would have changed up the the attack pattern. But overall, I enjoyed what was here, and I like that there's a streamer mode. That's very considerate because there's copyright music in this by default, but you can turn on that streamer music and get a completely different playlist and not get hit with a copyright strike while making YouTube videos or streaming on Twitch or wherever that you streamed. And then the infinite mode. There's a mode in the game. There's a story mode, and there's an infinite mode where basically you just keep going until you die, and you can create your own playlist. That shit is fire. And in my opinion, that's where the game shines the most because you can literally import your own MP3s into it. And the game, you can set the BPM and then the game matches the music and the fighting. So like, I didn't want to get in trouble. So I didn't want to put nothing on. I could have put on that new Iceman. Thank God I didn't because that shit is ass. I wanted to kill two birds with one stone, but I was like, oh, I had this idea. I was like, let me put Anon's music on. That's the homie. So I downloaded I downloaded like 5 or 6 MP3s of Anon's music and I made a playlist in the game. That shit was gas. When I started playing Anon's music while playing this and he was hitting to the beat, the chat went crazy. I swear about 5 or 6 people in the chat said, I'm copping this shit. So the developers, y'all owe me money. I need a finder's fee. The only thing that I didn't like about it is that's the highlight of the game, I think. And you can't do that in the story mode. It would have been fire if you could do that where you could import it. But for $20, this is going to be a sleeper hit, I think. This shit is fire. I'm fucking with it. I recommend it, especially at that price tag. It's a good game. What you think, Watts?
Yeah, I really, really liked it. Right away, I was super impressed by it because I also did the streamer mode thing. So all of the music that I was hearing through the infinite mode without importing my own songs and through the story mode are all their own songs, which are actually really good. I thought they were all really good. They have a bunch of different genres, which is great. But I thought that the visuals in the boss fights were really, really good. Like when you're fighting the rapper and the words are flying at you that he's saying is like, that's really cool. And then you have like cars coming at you. You got to dodge cars while also beating people up on the beat. It's really, really, really fun. I was extremely impressed. I think right away I was saying, okay, I understand why everyone's going crazy over this game. It's really well done, honestly. And then with importing your own music, that's also done really well because, like you said, you can put the BPM of any song that you want. You can look it up. You can Google it, and I Googled how to find the BPM, and like you could just drag and drop. There's a website you could drag and drop the song in there. It'll tell you the BPM, and you could just put it into the game. Oh, nice. Yeah, there's one. I forgot what it's called, but there's a couple that take data from like Spotify and stuff, and then you can just search for the song, and it will tell you the BPM of it. But then the cool thing as well, the extra thing with this game is in the advanced editor, you can change, like if a song has different sections of it where the BPM is different, you can go into the advanced editor and add a section that is a different BPM. So you can make it sync perfectly. So I've seen a lot of videos of people doing that, of really going in depth with the advanced editor for that and doing some pretty crazy stuff. Yeah, it's good. I can't really recommend it enough. It's sitting at overwhelmingly positive on Steam for a reason. It's only $20. So, I mean, can't go wrong. It is early access though. So if anyone is like wanting to wait until there's more stuff, because it is pretty light on content in terms of the story. They don't have a bunch of things done yet. But if you are someone who can get fun out of importing your own music and enjoying doing that, then I think you can have a lot of fun with early access. Either way.
I think this game is great for people who come home from work and just want to beat some shit up and you like music. Mm-hmm. Put on that infinite mode and you will have a lot of fun. And like she said, it's in early access, so the story is not done. But one thing I saw in the menu is they're adding multiplayer. I'm curious to see how that's gonna play out. Like, is it gonna be co-op with your buddy and like you just banging out a bunch of enemies and see who gets like the high score? That could potentially be fire. Even still, like it's not done the game at $20. Like I'm still comfortable recommending it because I feel like there's enough content here, and they're gonna be adding more content. And what's here runs really well, in my opinion. It's optimized.
I agree.
Yeah, because of that price tag, I'm cool with recommending it. I see you nodding your head over there, Jay. You like, yeah, I'm right.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad, man. I'm glad y'all got a chance to play. Shout out to the dev CEO that actually sent me a code. And I don't know if y'all watching the pod or whatever, or just saw me play the demo, but shout out to y'all for allowing me to play the game for free. So yeah, I mean, once I got to actually fight against the bosses, because during the demo you got to play through a certain section. Then once you got to the boss, they cut it off. I was like, oh man, like why y'all do that? So after get a chance to fight a couple bosses, I think that the boss fights from what I played are very, very unique. You would think that some of them would be kind of similar, but they weren't. Like I think specifically one of my highlights was I don't remember her name, but it was the K-pop the K-pop chick, and I was like, yo,
for me.
yeah, that was actually super dope. So like I like that. I do want to point out the criticism that TBH had, and it might have been done on purpose, but yeah, I felt like some of the boss fight did kind of drag a little bit. I was thinking that to help her. I'm like, damn, I'm not doing nothing. so
but you can hear the song, maybe.
Yeah, basically. So I think that was intentional. They do want to put you through phases, and the bosses do have phases. So I saw that, and I'm like, okay, I get it. But yeah, it kind of felt like initially that the boss fights were kind of dragging, and you weren't doing any damage. So yeah, so I do want to highlight that and put more emphasis on it. But yeah, I think the game is great. You said it's a mix between Hi-Fi Rush and Arkham Asylum. I compared it more to Sifu, because it gave me more of that Sifu vibe there. But I can see Arkham Asylum because, again, you have the button prompts A, Y, and you can do some of those. So I do see that comparison as well. But yeah, overall, I think the game is great. It is early access, like TBA said. So if you do want to wait a little bit, you can. But I also have it on streamer mode. I did the feature when I was playing the demo of putting some of my songs in there, so that my chat already got to see it. But even again, like Watt said, the music that they have in there, the royalty-free music, is super dope. And just through that alone, I was playing it, and I know the AB Smooth and Mel were in there. They were like, "Yo, like I love this." So like I haven't seen anyone say anything bad about this game. Yeah, I think just from everyone seeing it for the first time, it did had people intrigued, and they were like, yo, I'm going to get this game. I need to try it out. And AB was already thinking, he was like, I want to put some of my beats in there. I was like, yeah. I've seen people already on YouTube, like they are using this game, and they're like, Dead is Disco with blah, blah, blah song, with blah, blah, blah song. And they're getting like a lot of views on, like, I'm seeing people already, using this game to their advantage and like making some content out of it. So really the possibilities are endless, but obviously that's like one of the best features in the game, is being able to beat people up to any music that you enjoy, because I mean that's just why I do it even more, being able to do that. But even still, like the content that they have in there so far, music wise, and the boss fights and everything surrounding that, I feel is very unique. So I would recommend anybody, if you like any type of beat 'em up, if you like Hi-Fi Rush, if you like any type of music rhythm games, this should be a no-brainer for you. I think it's a great fusion between a beat 'em up and a rhythm based game. So pick it up.
Ethos, why you ain't play this game?
I don't know. I don't know. I genuinely thought the game was really cool. I played the demo. I love the demo. I just didn't get time to play it. But I think I just told myself I was going to wait until the early access period was over so I could play it when it was like the whole story was done. But I plan on playing it for sure. Yeah, so I can see the full vision of it. It looked great. Yeah, it looks phenomenal.
Check it out.
I was going to say, it reminded me of it feels like it's this year's what's the name of that damn game Xbox released that was really good. It was a rhythm game too.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush, and we mentioned already, buddy.
I couldn't remember the name of it. But I was gonna say, yeah, it reminds me also like what you guys said. Like it reminds me of like this year's Hi-Fi Rush. So that's a cool thing.
Cool. That is Disco. The next game, I think I'm the only one that played it, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm about to spend 6 seconds on this game talking about it, because to be honest, and I think it's important to be honest, I am not the most qualified person to talk about it, but I feel like people will get pissed off if we don't at least mention it, because I know we got some car fans out there. All my skirt gamers come up to the front. I played some Forza Horizon 6, and honestly, I only played it because I got a free copy. Shout out to Microsoft. I haven't played Forza since like the last 3 games that came out. So I can't really tell you what's different outside that this one takes place in Tokyo, or Japan as a whole, really. And it's like this open world with this event going on. But all I can say is that I like it. I'm having fun. Surprisingly, this is my first one, I think, playing the Horizon series. I've only ever played the traditional one. Supposedly this one's like a mix between arcade and simulation, but it still felt semi to me. Like it felt semi enough, or I'm just trash because I was spinning out like a motherfucker. But I think the thing that surprised me the most about it is the events, the off-roading stuff. I really haven't played that before in Forza. I'm not saying it's new. I'm just saying I don't keep up with the series. I was able to hop into a Dodge Ram and go with my best gal, and jump off high points and skirt whip the car in the mud. I was enjoying it. I was having a good time. The sense of speed in it, I think it does a good job. The sound design, this might win best sound design of the year. The way the engines rev, like I get it. I can't play one of these every time they come out, but every once in a while, I feel like these games are fun. It's easily one of the best looking games of the year, and it's optimized on PC. I do want to see how this runs when you play with friends. I got a couple buddies that are interested in playing, but I got the early access version. They don't have it, so I can't speak on that, but you can race a Gundam in it. That's pretty cool. And you can collect stuff. I didn't know that. How long have that been in Forza? Like they got like these open world aspects. That's always been their ethos. Ain't you a big fan?
Yeah, I played the last one. The last one was a lot of fun too. I feel like it's always been good. For the past like several Forza Horizons, I think they've always scored really high. So yeah, the last one was very similar, unless it's a little bit different in this one. Like, dude, like you go to the open world and you could unlock different types of cars by doing different types of things, or like you'd find these garages, some places where you could find like some like hideaway vehicles, some special vehicles that you could like discover as you're exploring the world. Yeah, I thought the game looked phenomenal. I'm not gonna lie, it's tempting me to want to get like a steering wheel and pedals. So
it's one of the highest reviewed games of the year, 91 overall Metacritic. And I played for about 3 hours, and I was like, I get it. I get it. It's a high quality game, even as someone who's not like a car enthusiast. I get it.
Yeah, the setting looks really cool too. So definitely, no doubt.
And I'm not putting it down. I didn't uninstall. I'm gonna keep playing it. What's the name? I gotta see what that multiplayer looking like. But right now, I'd recommend it for whatever it's worth. I don't know. I'm not a car expert. I can't tell you all the differences of the kits and the X, Y's, and Z's. I just hopped on and went. That's all I did like a little kid. It's
they
cool,
got some good music in the radio. That's what I know.
That too.
That's what I know.
Here's one that I did play as well as Watts, but I'm gonna give you the floor on this one. This one is a super surprise, although it did look good to me when I first saw the trailer. I put it on the Steam watch list and then Watts said it was fire, so I was like, I went ahead and copped it. It was only $20. It's called Alabaster Dawn. It's currently in early access on Steam, and it is a 2D.5 action RPG that, in my opinion, kind of plays like a mix between Zelda with a little bit of Souls elements in there, but then there's a parry mechanic in there. Like it's its own thing with like this fire art style. The story so far is something about the red sky fell, and like you play as these people with these divine weapons that are trying to stop this evil force that touched Earth. The combat's fire with the different skill trees, but I'm gonna give you the floor on this one because you got more time than me. Before I give you my opinion, what you think of it, Watts?
Yeah, so I've got about 3 hours. I think in early access, the 2 chapters have been fully completed. I don't know what that ends up being time-wise, but I was able to unlock 2 different ranged weapons, 2 different melee weapons, and get into some of like the open world type of stuff. Right away, playing this game, I was like, well, one, it's beautiful. The animation work is super smooth, and the visuals, like the art that they have, is impeccable. And then also, as I was getting further in, the writing is really good. Like the little, each character kind of has this, like you said, there's like a divine spirit that gives them their weapons. And the divine spirit is a capybara who she calls Cabbage, and he's written in a really, really well, and their dynamic is really good. It's not voice acted, so this is purely like what I'm reading, and it's really, really well written. The skill tree, every time I got a new skill, so I have a skill where after a parry, I can do a counterattack, and the counterattack moves, you have a counterattack with your ranged weapon, so you can like do a fan shot with your bow. There's another one where you do like a thrust attack with your sword. with the hammer, it's like a big leap into the air and a smash down after a parry. So just from that move, every single time I got a new one with a new weapon, I was like, this feels so good. So every time I was leveling up, and there's different skill trees. There's one for your character that is like increasing your parry damage, your health, your overall strength, that kind of stuff. But then they also have different skill trees for each weapon, which gives you different moves. And every time I did that, I felt super excited about the move that I was getting. And one thing that I appreciate they did, which I would love more developers to do, is when you do the tutorial for upgrading, they show you how to upgrade and how the skill tree works and everything. And then they refund you the point so you can put it into whatever you want. Because a lot of the time in tutorials, though, the games will be like, make sure you unlock the dodge. And after you unlock it, you have to choose that one thing and you can't go back and choose something else. But they show you for the tutorial, they refund you, and then you can unlock whatever the hell you want to unlock. But yeah, combat, combat is so good. They really nailed the combat. And I think just throughout the entire game as I was playing it, I was like, this game is extremely impressive. And I think it's going to end up winning a lot of stuff when it finally comes out from early access.
Yeah, I only got about 45 minutes on it. I was like, let me just try this out before we start recording. And I was sitting up. I 100% agree with Watts. The story was engaging. It has I feel like one of the best prologues I've played in a minute. Like I was instantly sucked into the story. And like you said, there's no voice acting. So like, that's how you know that it was really well written. I was really engaged with all the characters. And then the combat started and I was like, oh yeah, this is right. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be playing this right after we get off this goddamn video. The music is fire too. It really sets the tone of everything that's going on. But I just feel like they really crafted a world that I actually cared about. And I feel like it's been a while since I set up and I instantly felt that way. I feel like this is like a mix. I feel like it has like the art style of like Golden Sun with a mix of like Link to the Past. Bless you. Nobody else gonna say it? Damn, fuck Ethos.
I mean, I feel like ain't all of these saying. All right, man, bless you.
Anyways, I think this it should get a nomination for best art direction this year. Like, this game looks fucking good. And like, normally I don't even really be liking these 2D games, but I can't explain what they did with it other than like the 2D.5, the way you like explore the world. Like, it feels like it just plays on a certain plane, but then there's certain areas where you do have to wrap around, and like there's certain areas where you do have to jump. I feel like the level design is very creative, very vibrant. And like she said, the action is fire. I love any game with a parry system in it, a perfect dodge. They got a crossbow in it. I didn't get the other weapon she's talking about yet, so I'm excited to see what that's about. And the way you're able to combo stuff together, it almost feels a little bit too like Mass Effect or like a BioWare game, because they have like the basic attacks and like a heavy attack. And then if you hit Y on the controller, it slows down the game or like pauses it. And then you can tap one of your abilities and it combos into like something else. This shit is fire. This came out of nowhere. $20, even though it's only
code.
Yes.
Yeah, they made crosscode. Yeah.
Doesn't shock me at all then. Yeah, doesn't shock me at all.
Is crosscode fire?
Yeah. It's an indie darling, I'd argue. It was like pretty popular, I think, when it came out. It's just look it up on it was like more of a sci-fi compared to Alabaster, but it was like a pixel 2D, like it was more of that SENS style back in the day. So I'm just looking at screenshots of like this looks like more like an evolution of like what they tried to do with crosscode, and now they're like, oh, now we got budget. It looks good.
It's really good.
I'm 100% feel positive recommending it at early access. $20, like what they have. I will.
Was the story not done? Like what's
the story is fire. Like the boss
fights. Is it not done? Like what's the early access?
It's not done.
It's just not done.
First 2 chapters.
So it's like 6 to 10 hours. Would that be accurate for like what do we have now?
Maybe.
Wait, short? It's gonna be short too? Oh shit!
I don't think.
Well, for the first few chapters, but
okay,
right. We have what we have right now. Yeah.
For how long? So they say that it will continue as long as necessary until they complete the main story. Since Alabaster Dawn, much like Crosscode, is ambitious in scope, we expect early access to go on for at least 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
At least 2 years.
So an ongoing game.
But they will have more side quests, more of the main story, of course, and of course polishing. But it's already polished. Like what they have right now is smooth.
I'm gonna need them to finish this game ASAP. Like I'm thoroughly impressed by this, and motherfuckers swear I don't show no indies love. We showed 2 indies love in this episode alone, so I'm showing them some love.
It's
I say
really
check it
good.
out. There's a free demo.
Check it out. There's a free demo. Check seriously, like guys, if you like good games, I think you will like the game. Like right away, instantly, it is extremely impressive. It's also Steam Deck verified, so.
That's all I need to hear. You know me. I'm about to copy. I'm gonna copy.
Yes, sir. And then last but not least, before we get into the news, I'm gonna just mention this one real quick because JG missed the beta. Unfortunately, they be doing time betas. NBA to Run. They announced that the game will be $30. It'll launch June 9th, and the deluxe edition will be $40. The $30 price tag I think is good, but more importantly, the past weekend they had the beta. I'm just gonna read to y'all what I wrote on this goddamn tweet, and we're gonna keep it pushing. My opinion is the same. I had fun with it. I will say, I don't feel like a lot of people check the controls because I went into controls. One of my complaints last time was I felt like there's not enough tricks. I still feel that way, but not as much, if that makes sense. There's more depth to this game than I thought, but you got to go in the controls, and you could tell people didn't. Like, you can do it off the easy. You could throw the ball off somebody's head, which is fire, by the way, because when you throw the ball off somebody's head, it plays like a Taco Bell sound, and they get stunned, and then I hit a 3 in somebody's face. That shit was satisfying. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I need more of that from the devs. Outside of that, from this beta, I have fun. I would say they need to nerf the shoving in this game. You could push people, and it doesn't drain enough stamina. They can do it like 3-4 times in a row. So like that's the meta right now in terms of defense. I feel like there's too much emphasis on that, and these camera angles are kind of weird, so it's easy to get caught off guard. And the shove also magnetizes the people, so somebody will be behind you, and they won't even be close. And like if it's within range, like it'll just suck them to you, pause, and fucking push you down. I don't like that shit, bro. More camera options. I still want to see that shit. Add more tricks. Like I said, they need to add voice chat. There's no voice chat for an online only game, and these randoms suck. I tried playing with randoms. It was terrible, just like 2K. I don't know what it is. Actually, I do know what it is. Studies came out and they said IQs are dropping. The first generation ever to be dumber than the last. I can tell. Just nothing but Steph Curry's just running around, jacking up shots in front of 3 defenders. I don't like that shit. Or dunking on 3 defenders. I don't like that shit. And then tighten up the servers. But for $30, I'm cool with it. I think if this game was 70, it'd be DOA, but I do feel like there's something here, and if they keep listening to feedback, I think they will be okay. Just, keep your head down and keep putting in the work. Right now, I'm feeling comfortable. June 9th, I'll probably be there. $30, I'm cool with that price. Why didn't you get on it again, Jay? What was you doing?
Living life. I was out. I honestly didn't know that the beta was only 1 day. I'm like, anytime that there's something that's 1 day and I have to literally, I have to bring my time, whatever, around it, it's not happening, bro. I was literally out all day Saturday, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna play it. So nope, didn't happen.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, one more thing. I forgot to put this in the tweet. I should update this joint. Fade and threes. Y'all need to nerf that shit too, bruh. Fade and threes are broken in this game. They was doing that, and like it's too easy to green. But other than that, the game is fun if you take it for what it is. That being said, let's move into the news section of the podcast. Let's start off with a rumor here, a hot one. Take this with a super grain of salt because anybody can buy a check mark on Twitter. But because this is a weekly show, I got to entertain more bullshit just so we can keep the show going. So this rumor is coming from a page I never heard of called Elder Players, who's claiming there's a leak going around with no link to this leak. But he claims that Rocksteady Studio is working on a new Batman Arkham game. I'm going to read you all the bullet points. The leaker claims that the studio wants to move past the failure of Suicide Squad as quickly as possible with a complete refocus on Batman. The game will be written by Paul Dini, with Terry McGinnis returning as the main hero in the role of Batman Beyond instead of the previous Damian Wayne idea, because that's in reference to apparently Rocksteady was working on one, but it would be Damian Wayne as Batman Beyond, not Terry McGinnis. The events take place many years after Arkham Knight in a futuristic Gotham inspired by a more cyberpunk 2077, but with a more realistic style without flying cars. The story is inspired by Batman Beyond's animated series where the elderly Bruce Wayne trains Terry to become a new Batman. but it sounds to me like it won't completely follow that. It's just inspired by it. The leaker mentioned the game is being developed by a UE5, the Woke engine, and that the Nemesis system, this is the most interesting part, the Nemesis system will be present in a way that gives each player their own unique enemy. The game won't take place entirely in one night like the previous Arkham games, with hints of different traversal methods and equipment alongside gliding. And then he claims there's some leaked images right here with no link to where he got this rumor from. So take it with a super grain of salt. Let's act like it's real for a second. Ethos, what's this doing for you?
It's fake. I won't even entertain it.
Why not? Where you got? You got a source for me?
Yeah, I got Dell. That's all I need.
Oh, did he quote tweet this joint?
He replied to it below. If you look through it, I think you'll see him because I think he's verified. But I think he replied to that and said, "There's no way. Yeah, they're using Unreal Engine like placeholder models in the mannequins." And it's like, yeah, why would Rocksteady be using these if this was leaked when literally we've spent a decade modeling and animating a bunch of grunts that we could have easily just thrown into the game engine and used to test out from multitude of games over the past decade. And I was like, that's a very good point. Why would they just be using mannequins when the last game they worked on was Arkham was done on Unreal 2. So I was like, that's a very good point. Why would they just be using random mannequins in this screenshot? And there's some other stuff, at least from my experience, like working on Unreal, where I'm like, that doesn't look, so that looks a lot kind of sus. So I was like, I don't know. I'm not buying this. So I just don't believe these screenshots are real. I just believe this is just a bunch of BS. It's just probably someone who's just like, oh, let's just, Suicide Squad bad. Let's just, pop the rumor out of nowhere. Yeah,
let's farm Suicide Squad is bad.
We're bored. Yeah.
Jason Schreier also said, nah.
Yeah, he also apparently confirmed that it was fake.
Nah.
It looks like AI, like they just generated some bullshit with Grok to me. Like, I don't believe this either, man.
Yeah. I mean, but you know what? I hate the internet sometimes, but I think that sometimes, even though people like just rage bait and do all this stuff for engagements, I wanted this to be real. Like, it actually doesn't sound like this super bad from what they, made up or trying to say. Like, because we've said multiple times we wanted to see a Batman Beyond game. So, like, that had people excited. Like, I love the cartoon. So, like, I think that would be, in my opinion, the next natural progression. And yeah, after Suicide Squad bombed like that, I think that, going back to a Batman in some form of fashion, like the Arkham series, would be nice instead of trying to go outside of the box and do something that ultimately nobody cares about. So yeah, I mean, I want it to be true. And again, speaking of it, if there's any validity to this from what this person was saying, it sounds like it would be an interesting idea. So Rocksteady, I mean, if you're just looking at this and we're like, oh, this shit is fake, maybe y'all need to look at this a little bit harder and be like, hey, maybe this would be a decent idea, because I'm literally looking there and everybody's like, man, this better be real. This better be real. So at least you can see that there is some interest from it. Again, it could be fake, it's fake as hell, but
the tweet went viral. It has almost 1 million views.
Yeah, but yeah, let this be an indicator. I don't know, like, what your marketing team is doing, your R&D team. Like, somebody needs to look at this, and whatever you all have in the tank, hopefully it's something. Just go back to, the Batman Arkham series. But yeah, I think that doing Batman Beyond would be something that a lot of people would enjoy and actually look forward to. So, just a thought, maybe get to it.
I feel like this is not true, but I agree with you. I wish this was, just for the simple fact that, first of all, the name is fire. That you just call it Batman Beyond Arkham. Like, you will sell like hotcakes. You're getting pre-orders. But then two, like, I'm going to entertain this Nemesis system thing. It is WB. I believe the Nemesis system would work for a Batman game, specifically Beyond, because if I remember correctly from the cartoons, one of the issues Terry had in the cartoon was there were gangs running around in the futuristic version of Arkham. Like, I remember the Clown Gang and a few others. They could easily put that Nemesis system in where you beat up one of the people from one of these gangs and then they come back and they're like, oh, you remember me? Just like they did with the Shadow of Mordor series. So it actually could work. And I agree with JG. I hope they see this tweet and look at it as like, oh, wow, people really want this, because it didn't accidentally get 1 million views, regardless if it's fake. It's because people, I think they want to see this, especially after Suicide Squad.
And that Nemesis system, again, we've been saying it forever. WB had done absolutely nothing with it.
Just steal it. They won't know. I'm telling you. No one will know.
Just do it. Somebody.
Just
like,
call it something else. And, it's just enemy AI. It's like not a big deal. They won't know.
Not the nemesis system, the enemy system. That's what they call it. It's different. Other news I got for you. Rumors are surfacing. Well, first of all, Valve has made it very clear that the Steam Machine is coming this year. And now but rumors are surfacing that there's going to be multiple configurations of it. And this is based off some code people found online where they found, basically they're hinting at there's going to be different models like a 520 gigabyte or a 2 terabyte or 1 terabyte. Do you think they would go with multiple configurations? Do we think that this is an actual thing that could come true, Jay?
100%. Yeah, I mean, we've spoken about this, and especially due to the state of the economy and RAM shortages, everything has a shortage. This makes 100% sense to me in order to make sure that people will buy, even though I don't think Steam will have a problem. You see what they did with the Steam controller. So people are going to buy it regardless. You just had those Steam loyalists that don't give a fuck. They're going to get whatever the hell you Game Duel comes out with. But for everybody else who was on the fence, because I remember specifically you watching TVH, were like, hey man, if this is going to be $1,000, I'm kind of out of the sweepstakes. Like I don't even want to try. But if they come up with different configurations, because again, keep in mind, this is a PC, you can put so many different parts in there to lower the price. So I think that would be super smart for them in order to still keep it appealing for some of those people who were like, hey, I'm seeing all these rumors that this ain't going to be over $1,000 now. If you can get a lower hard drive or maybe a slightly less powerful CPU in there, slightly less powerful GPU in there, just to lower the price a little bit, that would swing the pot and lead to some more sales from those people who are on the fence. So I'm hoping this is true. Like I said, it would be, super smart on their part to go this route.
Well, I mean, if you read the article, it doesn't say nothing about configurations in terms of different CPU and GPU, and they can't do that also because remember, this is supposed to be like a hybrid console PC. If they make multiple configurations, that's going to make it harder for developers. So like, it has to be one thing so that it can be Steam Machine like verified. This was just more talking about like hard drive space. We said that for Xbox too. Then we were like that would be the simple thing because for the next console, because they've done that before. Just if the hard drive are going to be the only thing, then yeah, I mean just go that route. I feel like that's the easiest route to go. So yeah, do that. Yeah, I've seen some people go as far as to say, they were in my chat like, why would they make a configuration with less memory? And I'm like, well, if they make a 512 gigabyte, it'd be for somebody who just wants it as like an emulator, because like ROMs allegedly don't take up a lot of space. So I mean, if you're just gonna use it as an emulation machine and not primarily as like an actual Steam machine, then I could see them, copping the cheap version. You have any thoughts on this, Watts?
Yeah, I think it makes sense to at least have different hard drive space at the very least. It's just like a pretty common thing that companies do. Steam Deck does it. Lots of things do it. Having different specs that would make it perform differently, maybe not. I don't know. I think it would be smart to see what they can do to make more people able to buy it and make it more intriguing for people, especially if that high-end price is looking like it's going to be a thing. So if they're like, all right, we're looking like our base model is going to be $1,000, I think it would make sense for them to see how they can lower that for people, because I ain't paying $1,000. I ain't doing it.
I'm not either. What about you, Ethos? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I ditto what everybody else said. I think, yeah, it makes sense that maybe there'd be some alternative options available just to make it easier for people to get their hands on it. I mean, everything's kind of weird right now, so... What do I know? What do we know? I don't know. Next week, for all I know, we might lose access to chips altogether. So I just can't even predict or even know what's going to be the possibilities. I went to Micro Center over the weekend, and I was just like, nah, bro. GPUs as much as a whole brand new PC. I walked out of there. I was like, ain't no way. So yeah. It's
actually pretty sad, yeah. Because when I went to Micro Center in Charlotte, I was like, "Yo, like this
you used to be happy. You'd walk in there, and joy. There's no joy anymore. You just walk.
It doesn't even feel like the same place.
No.
Yeah, imagine working there. Like you're like a nerd. That's probably where you always wanted to work, and now you got to constantly explain to people why something is so expensive and they can't put it in a PC. Just tell them the truth. You voted for it. Other news. I'm curious to hear from you, marathon freaks. Bungie right now, from a numbers standpoint, Marathon is, kind of stalled out, and they're looking for new ways to bring in new people. And it's being reported that Bungie is looking to expand Marathon's appeal with a new chill PvE mode. According to reports, in season 2, they will be experimenting with 2 modes, one at the beginning of the season and one towards the middle and later half of the season. The experimental mode at the beginning of the season will focus on PvE, but with a light touch of PvP. The second experimental mode will be a PvE only mode that's focused on crews being tasked with competing objectives together and making progress across matches. And then they also went on to say they hope to evolve Marathon as a whole to be an experience where you can find more novel ways to play when you're stressed out from a nail-biting run and just need to cool off and have some fun without the stress. And then I read somewhere, I forgot to put it in the notes, but I read somewhere one of the devs admitted that like the game is a little too hardcore. Maybe that's why they're struggling to find like a player base. But I want to hear your take on this, Ethos. Are you cool with them adding the PvE? Do you think this is the thing that maybe can bump those player counts so that Siggy can stop talking about it in the group chat?
Okay, maybe I'm just going to be a negative Nancy. I don't think this will fix the game. I don't think even adding a PvE experience is going to fix the game. I think that a lot of people who decry that and ask for it are not going to get on the game, even if it's added. I think a lot of people will just be lying on the internet and just say what they think they want the game to have. And we've seen time and time again that gamers don't know what they want. They say they know what they want, but then when they get what they want, then they're like, this isn't what I wanted. It's like, well, this is what you asked for. But they're like, well, no, I meant it like this type of way. So I genuinely don't believe that them adding a PvE mode is going to convince the major amount of gamers to want to come back and play Marathon. We already have a group of people who are going to just never touch Marathon because of how toxic it's been pushed from like Bungie standpoint, from a Bungie reputation standpoint. So they're just going to be petty and just never play it no matter what, just off of principle. You have the Destiny fans who are never going to touch it because they're still crying about Destiny 2 and they want Destiny 3. So they're not going to touch it at all. So the only group of people you're going to have left is the people who played it initially and then they left because, like what you said, it was too difficult. And the question is that enough people that warrants putting that amount of investment into a PvE mode? And this is just my biased opinion. I don't think that's the answer. I think it's inherently just the design of the game itself is just naturally going to be a very difficult type of game. And unless you're going to go full on, we're going to change the entire DNA and ethos of the entire game itself and turn it into something like a Helldivers, it's going to get worse. This is what happened with Arc Raiders, and I've seen people who try to say, oh, why are they trying to act like Arc Raiders? I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but Arc Raiders has been in a downward spiral since like the last couple of months. They've been losing their player base every month. And yeah, they still have a lot of people playing it, but they're bleeding their player count really fast. And the main reason it's happening is the genre change of how people have been trying to force the game into being this sort of like PvE co-op that's alienated once again a bunch of players who were part of the initial, like even me, a part of like the initial rush of playing that game, and now are not satisfied with how it is. And on top of that, the developers just not being on the job of releasing content that they feel is enough to them. They still have the issue of they don't have an end game. They've never had an end game. It was never really, they thought Expedition would be enough.
The hackers too, to be fair, they never did nothing about that.
Yeah, the hackers. But here's the thing: I don't think hackers is really. I genuinely don't believe that hackers is really as big as a problem that people make it out to be, outside of unless you are part of the hardcore top percentile of players. So if you are a really good player and you are playing competitive rank and stuff like that, I can see how your experience is drastically different. But a majority of the player base who's more casual or, trying to do PvE stuff is probably either never going to see a hacker or going to see such a lower amount of hackers compared to like the people who are in the higher echelon of like the queue and like the matchmaking, because that's who you're naturally you're gonna be matched against people who are gonna be top tier, and if the cheaters are doing good, they're gonna be thrown into that queue. So I don't think that necessarily. I'm not saying that cheating is not a problem. I mean, Marathon has its own problem with cheating. It seems like, but Marathon's addressing it relatively quickly, and it seems like Marathon's also been addressing like a lot of problems. Like Marathon had a meta problem, and it's been having a meta problem with explosives, where everybody was just in late game, we're just gonna fill our inventory up with grenades, and when we run into an enemy team, screw trying to gunfight. We're just gonna spam grenades like it's Harry Potter, and we're just gonna try to blow each other up like it's like we're casting spells on each other. So that was something that like they were just doing, and then Bungie stepped in and was like, all right, we're gonna try to fix this problem. I don't know if it's fully like fixed right now, but they're like, we're Bungie's done a really good job of actively knowing what the problems of our Marathon very fast. Like they're not, which is funny because it feels like this is the opposite of how they are about Destiny. I feel like when Destiny had problems, they took so long to respond to it. I don't know if it was just because of how Destiny was built and it just took them a longer time or whatever the reasoning was. But it's weird. I don't know if it's because of Ziegler. I don't know if it's just his experience with Valorant that's caused this, like the shift in their speed. But the way that like they can react, communicate to the player base, we know that you guys are hurting here way. It's way different than what Arc Raiders is doing right now, where it's like they feel like Arc Raiders isn't really doing enough. But the problem is Marathon can, which we come back to the original problem, Marathon can do all this good stuff. Like they can do all this, like, you know, very positive community building, talking to their community, trying to respond to their community, try to implement feedback at an actual good pace, not at the one that's taking them like 6 months for them to implement changes. And I just never feel like it's enough for some reason. So I just don't think this is the answer. I think people who think, oh, just add PvE, that'll fix the problem. I don't think that's going to fix the problem. And I would put $1 down each single person that was out there putting in the replies of Marathon posts talking about you guys who added PvE. I put $1 on each of those people to know that if they do add this PvE element, I guarantee you they will not be logging into Marathon when season 2 drops. So,
yeah. So a couple things. So as initially when I saw this news, I was like, I don't know, because as someone who is a ex PvP, not entirely, but almost entirely Destiny player, I've experienced what it is like when Bungie is trying to build for 2 different audiences. And it has not been good. That's why I don't play anymore. It hasn't been good for those who didn't play PvP. Essentially, it just got dropped and then just got some like maintenance stuff for it. They also kind of gave up on Gambit, and I think Gambit would have also been really dope with some stuff that they could have done, but they just kind of gave up balancing it and putting new stuff in it. So I was like, I don't know. Are we starting to get into the same thing as Destiny, as creating Marathon into this game that has little things for all sorts of different players, and then you have to try and cater to all of them, which is incredibly difficult. And that's why a lot of people were excited about Marathon being a PvP Bungie game, because that's where their focus could go. But the different thing with Marathon compared to Destiny when it comes to making PvE only content is that Marathon is a PvPvE game, whereas PvP in Destiny is just player versus player. It's like an arena shooter. So if they were to make new content for PvE, like a raid boss, more enemy types, maps, whatever, that could also be used in regular Marathon extraction game mode. You can use all of that for both things. So that's a good thing. And I was like, yeah, and actually that would be so much better, because no matter what content they make, new characters, new guns, new enemies, new maps, new environmental hazards, all of that can be used for all parts of the game. Another thing that makes me go, okay, we'll see what happens is what Ethos said, with them being like very communicative. They move really, really fast. And I think this is the way that you want to be with any kind of live service game. They'll just say like, look, we're trying a thing, might be kind of janky, but like, let us know what you think about it. And I think that is absolutely the right approach. And all of these things that they're doing, they're letting us know this is experimental. We are not like launching a PvE mode. We are trying a PvE thing. You let us know if you like it, and we'll take it from there. So I think the fact that they're approaching this with an experimental mindset is also a good thing, because it means that it could stay or it could go if it doesn't end up benefiting them. But I think the big problem with Marathon in terms of gaining massive numbers is that extraction games like this are just never going to be super, super popular. It's almost a similar thing with like Dark Souls, where people heard how punishing Dark Souls is. Oh my God, you're going to die, and then you're going to lose all of your resources, and then you've lost like hours of progress, and you're going to be banging your head against the wall. And people hear the same thing about extraction shooters, where you're going to gain a bunch of really cool stuff, and you're going to lose it all immediately, and then you've got to start all over again. It's really intimidating, but it's not as hardcore as people think it is. And I think Marathon isn't as hardcore as they think it is. And maybe there's something that they can do to introduce people to Marathon so that they can see that for themselves, rather than just me saying like it's not that hardcore of a game. So I asked people in my chat when we were talking about it how they would feel about PvE, and pretty unanimously, all of them were like, I would reinstall for PvE. And these people, I believe them because smart people are in my chat. If they're not smart, they're banned. So
that's crazy.
they said they would reinstall for PvE, or this would make them able to like talk some of their friends into playing Marathon who are like on the fence. There's people who are like Destiny players that are like, I was really just looking for a place to chill and have a more chill experience with my friends, as well as the extraction thing. So a lot of people said they were down for it. So I was like, okay, we'll see how it goes. But another thing that they're doing as well is that they also talked about adding a PvP only thing, whatever that is. It could be a BR because, you know, they've got guns, they've got maps, they've got shields, they've got consumables. Like they have a lot of stuff there to do that. It could be an arena thing as another experimental mode that they're going to be trying out. So we'll see where it goes. Ultimately, what they said about season 3, because we're coming up to season 2 where they're doing these experimental things and adding a bunch of new content. But post that in season 3, they're introducing a lot of revisions to their early experience with getting people into Marathon. Because honestly, I think Marathon is a really good game. Like, it feels incredible to shoot things. The world is super interesting. The story is really well written. The maps are incredible. Like Outpost and Cryo are some of the best multiplayer maps that we've had in recent years. I think we just need people to be able to experience the game to get into that and taste it and then become addicted to it. So we'll see what they end up trying ultimately. But so far, I'm currently okay with them adding PvE only stuff based on what I'm seeing and how they're approaching it.
I think the game is just facing an uphill battle across the board because not only is it a genre that's niche in itself, but then we can't also act like there was a hit piece out for this game. Like people wanted to hate it from the get go, and I'm trying to figure out if they've been able to jump that hump. And also that I think this is going to be the year where we see a lot of games this year fail, and it has nothing to do with the quality of the game. Because I'm looking at the Steam DB for Invincible. I put it in the group chat. A lot of people see right now it's only 800 people playing Invincible versus on the Steam DB. And like I have my problems with this game, but it is a good game overall. I just think this year there's more competition than ever, and unfortunately some things might fall by the wayside. But I can respect the fact that at least they're trying. They're still trying to fight the good fight because you're always one patch away. You have any thoughts on it though, Jay?
Yeah, I'm unfortunately more on the side of ethos. Again, not trying to be a negative Nancy, but I do feel like what TBH said, this game already had a negative connotation from the jump before the game even came out. So there are going to be those people who, again, you're in the Arc Raiders bucket, you're in the Destiny bucket, you're in the F extraction shooters bucket. None of those people are going to play the game regardless. It's going to take you literally breaking their hand in order for them to even try it out. So they're not going to try it. So how do you get those people? I have not, again, I'm not super into the Marathon universe. So shout out to you, Watch, for getting like a little poll with your community on how they would feel with PvE. But from my standpoint, I didn't really see too many people clamoring for PvE like I did the Arc Raiders community, because I did see them, especially when you got to a point where you get to the higher echelon and they're going insane on the PvP aspect and making it unfun for the people who just want to get in and get their blueprints and then get out without having to deal with them losing everything. So for me personally, even though I would also love a PvE mode, I am not upset with playing the game as intended, the PvPvE aspect, because if I didn't like that aspect, then I probably wouldn't be interested in the game at all, right? Like I don't see the PvP aspect as a point where I'm like, oh, like I'm sick of this game, I want to get off. I know that there are some people who do feel like that, but me personally, I don't feel like that. I want to play the game as intended. But that, again, on the other side, I wouldn't be upset. Like I would actually play the PvE mode. Like if I'm just trying to get some contracts done, yeah, I won't play the PvE mode. Like if I'm just trying to chill and just get that stuff done, get my objectives done, or get something that I need, get some resources or whatever, yeah, I could just hop in, get that stuff, and then hop out, right? And I have to deal with the looming threat of someone trailing me, he shoot my head off and then I'm done, right? So I get both sides, but yeah, I'm with Ethos. I don't think that introducing the PvE mode is going to get anyone or not too many people to come back. You'll have a better chance with them, but for someone who's never played it, I don't think that's going to bring those new players in, unfortunately. So I don't know what type of polls that Bungie has been doing or what they've been seeing, because obviously it's data that we're not privy to, but they obviously seen something that at least wants them to experiment. So again, I'm not mad at them for wanting to experiment. I try things, try new things. I don't think that it's going to harm you in the long run. And who knows? Maybe we all could be wrong. Maybe there is a higher chance that you could actually get those people. But for me and what I've seen, just due to all of the negativity surrounding this game, I don't think you're going to get new people to come in. But again, there could always be a renaissance period with these games. If you continue to show support as a developer, if you continue to work on new content and keep the game fresh, then yeah, I think there is a chance that maybe you could. But I just personally think it's a low chance for those people who never played the game and already don't want to play it because of whatever silly ass reason they're going to play it just because it's a PvE mode that you could try out. I don't hold people's IQ that high that they'll actually want to try it. So that's in my opinion.
When the last time they did a free weekend? I feel like they benefit doing those more.
Yeah, they need to do. I've always said that they need to do a free weekend at the beginning of a new season and then kind of just juice people up so they can get a bunch of unlocks really early. Because new season, everyone is on the exact same level. Mm-hmm. So you're not fighting people with a ton of loot. So I think that would be super beneficial so people could try it for free. I also think some of the ideas that they have around making it more casual, you could say, is Bungie did introduce a free sponsored kit playlist where everyone goes in with the same sponsored kit. It's white shields, crappy gun, and you're all fighting each other on the same playing field. And people really, really liked that. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's where maybe they're kind of looking at potentially a PvP BR, because that's essentially what it was. It's basically a BR if everyone's joining the map with the same stuff. So we'll see. I think ultimately the game is really good. People just need to give it a chance and have the opportunity to give it a chance for free.
Did you see they added Israel to the game?
I did see that. Yeah, they're adding that. Yep, they are.
I think the most heartbreaking thing and unfortunate thing about this situation with Marathon is part of the reason, we were talking about why I think this game is struggling, is when it came out, people wanted to hate it. There were various reasons why, some with the art theft thing, a couple other reasons. But one of the key reasons was there was a sector of the gaming community that were hardcore Arc Raiders gamers, and they were just we're not playing that shit. That shit is trash. We're on Arc Raiders, buddy. And I find it very interesting because now Arc Raiders are starting to die off. They hate that game. You guys hated this game into oblivion. Now you got nothing to play. And now you're going back to playing Fortnite. And don't say you're not, because we got the data on you. I'm segueing into this
here
one.
We go. Here we go. ISO, TBH, ISO.
ISO, you thought the Steam DB fucking chart watchers was bad? It's about to get worse because, ladies and gentlemen, PlayStation quietly put out an update that has updated the UI, and it allows people to see the weekly player counts. And we have the numbers for you guys. For the first week this featured is out. The number one of the top 8 is Fortnite at 14 million players, GTA 5, Minecraft, Call of Duty, Apex Legends, Marvel Rivals, Battlefield 6, and surprisingly at number 8 is Arc Raiders with 900,000 players in the past week. So that's right. Not only on Twitter are we going to be getting the Steam DB watchers, we now have the PSN Plus watchers. It's about to get really bad, and people are going to be using these things to say whether or not a game is trash and da. How are we feeling about this update, Ethos?
I don't
Why, Sony? Why?
Why would you add this, bro? This is not going to be used for what it should be used, which is to find out, maybe I'll play this or something like that. Now it's just going to be weaponized as another tool. I don't understand why. I don't understand how anyone could they seen how people have been using the Steam DB would be yeah, that we need to do that for our game system. I just don't understand. I feel like we need to put we need to put Pandora's box. We need to close it back again. I feel like it's opened and it's just been chaos since. And I feel like someone needs to just shut it again. Like the Steam DB, just all of it. Steam DB, the PlayStation stuff, just everything, bro. I think it's good for game developers. I think it's good for publishers. I think it's good for, like analysts, but I do not think that the greater public should be given access to this sort of information at all. For people who argue and say, well, what if I want to buy a game and I don't know if it's dead? I'm like, you got the refund. You do have the ability to refund. It's also, it makes a bad picture because it doesn't really tell you the full story, as we clearly saw with Marathon, when people were shocked to find that Marathon actually had an active viewer base. Like people were convinced like, oh, there's only 12,000 people playing Marathon, and then like they saw the console numbers and they're like, this is impossible. How could they sell millions of copies? It can't be. There's only 12,000 people playing Marathon. Like it just completely causes straight up confusion. So I feel like it's better if this is just information that just the public should just not be able to speculate on and talk about.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is going to be used in a negative light. They're going to create the Sony Pony version of the Steam DB numbers. But on the flip side, it does allow me to push my agenda that the Sony Ponies do not buy or play new games because the data doesn't lie. Y'all stay on the same shit. And I've seen some people try to reply to this and say, oh, well, this was the weekly player count. Okay, fair. I'm going to switch my argument then. All right, well, why isn't Soros at the top? Because I get it. Single player games, a lot of times when people beat it, they might play it once, maybe twice, and then let it go. Why isn't Soros at the top of the list? Where's Pragmata? Where's Invincible Versus? All these games, amazing games that have been coming out this year. Ain't none of that shit on the list because y'all ain't buying none of this shit. And here's the crazy part for me. Yeah, I'm pushing the agenda. I don't even understand why the Sony Ponies get offended. First of all, if it don't apply, let it fly, because some of y'all do buy games. If you listen to this podcast, you probably are a little bit more hardcore. You are buying games. But the average Sony Pony, your homeboy, your homegirl, is not buying fucking anything because some of those games should have been on the list. I don't. Why does that make people fucking mad? Y'all are frauds. Any thoughts, Jay?
They don't want to be called a casual. Apparently being called a casual is being called a slur these days. So we've already seen these numbers. And, I agree with Ethos. I think that we shouldn't see these numbers at all because, again, the agenda pushers are very weird. Siggy busted a hot load after seeing this. He like, look, this is he like, this is making my day right here. He loves looking at the numbers. I don't know what's going on with him. He is changed. But yeah, we've seen we've seen the list of the game, but we haven't seen the actual numbers. Now that we're seeing the numbers, I don't think that they're going to go away anytime soon. So we kind of have to deal with it. But now that we can see the visibility on at least the console side, because that was the issue. And then going back to what Ethos said, that there were a lot of people playing Marathon specifically on the console. So now that we can see this, I think it'll be easier for us to be able to refute any argument that people want to push about Steam numbers on by itself compared to PlayStation numbers. And I don't know, maybe we'll get Xbox. I don't think Nintendo will ever do this, but if we get the trifecta of Xbox, it's really going to be interesting here. So at least we have 2 out of the 3 now. We'll see how it is. But I do want to point from this thing here. I said it on Twitter. I'm like, bro, you got 15 million people weekly. This isn't a yearly base. Weekly, insane. Still playing Fortnite on PlayStation. That is insane. Just think about that, people. Like that is just an insane number. I was like, yo, Sony only gamers, and I was specifically calling them out. Said Sony only gamers. I said, don't say shit to me about wanting new games or your exclusives, because if you just look at these numbers, it's telling a completely different story. Literally none of these games here outside of Battlefield 6, which Battlefield 6 could very well be a live service game. Every single one of these games is freaking live service, bro.
It's been a banger that's came out like every week this year. This week alone, we got Lego Batman and 007. I better see that shit on the fucking stats next week. But specifically, this was really going to make me put y'all on fraud watch. In September, if I don't see Wolverine on the list, the whole PlayStation Nation are fucking frauds, bro. I'm surprised Battlefield 6 was on this list because I thought that game was dead, but apparently y'all still playing that shit, which I'm not mad. It's a good game.
Console too. Yeah, on console too. Like I said, it's crazy. I said the other thing. I was like, look, I think we need to specify this now for you Sony gamers. I said, if the game wasn't made by Sony Santa Monica, Naughty Dog, Insomniac, or Sucker Punch, then y'all could just forget it. Y'all don't want to play any other game that's not made by those 4 studios. And they'll be like, oh yeah, well, God of War had this. I'm like, well, that's 1 year. That's 1 year. And again, you're proving my point because you're not playing anything else. Nothing else is getting propped up like this. And going back to what TBA said, they're like, oh, well, it's the single player experience. And that doesn't matter. If there isn't a high player count that's making these lists that you're playing on a weekly basis, even when it comes out, if it's not the week that it comes out and we're not seeing this in these top 10, then yeah, there's something going on here. And I also clarify, I'm like, this isn't just a Sony thing because again, people got offended. They're like, oh, why are you talking about Sony like this? It is a problem across the board, and we've spoken about this. Live service games, these games have been out for a very long time, and you guys won't get off of these games. So yes, we're talking about Sony right now, but it's an overall issue across the board with all of these live service games. You all don't want to play anything else, but then turn around and bump your gum saying there are no new games out. Gaming is dead, but you all aren't playing these freaking games like you all are claiming that you do. I was like, I don't care if you want to blame it on the quote unquote casual gamer and you're saying, oh, I'm not a casual gamer, I'm a hardcore gamer, I play all this game. Well, obviously I'm not talking to you then, dipshit. I'm talking about the overall spectrum of gamers. Like, yes, okay, casual gamer or not, it doesn't matter. We're all in the same bucket at the end of the day. And if there's still 15 million people weekly playing Fortnite, then something is wrong, bro. Like something is clearly wrong because you guys can't get off of these freaking games and try something else. That's the issue.
I don't even care that they play these games. You bought your system. You're allowed to play what you want. My issue and the agenda that I'm pushing is I'm trying to point out that the console war is fake. And I hate, and what I'm about to say, if it don't apply, let it fly. But the biggest perpetrators online of the console war are primarily the PlayStation Nation. Y'all be on Twitter harassing people under posts. Y'all be in them damn Twitter spaces talking about Final Fantasy VII is the greatest RPG of all time. We got the best exclusives, but then when the numbers come out, and I get it, these are multiplayer games, but I'm talking about the week of. Where's Soros at? It should be on the list. Y'all don't buy the games you claim that you love, which further, unless it's an Xbox game, because y'all have a weird affinity towards Xbox games for some reason. The point is, the console war is fake. If you're watching this, stop participating. You guys are miserable. You're not playing any of these fucking games. What do you think of all this stuff?
Yeah, it annoys me when, you know, a new live service game will have a trailer and people will go, who asked for this? You did.
You did.
You
did.
Oh shit!
Why do you
of those
think
7 are live service games? Go ahead.
7 are live service. Yeah. So like, why do you think companies are constantly trying to push a new live service out? It's because that is what the majority of people are playing, and we have a very good example with Soros. And I don't know if we could talk about Soros a little bit now. Is that it's being reported that it sold 300,000.
I can pull it up. Go for it.
Yeah, which is now granted, I will say that this is from an analytical place that people are a little like, they're not super accurate sometimes, but at least with this one, it seems like they are looking like they're in a more accurate spot. And 300K is not a lot these days. So like you were saying, TBH, you know, we should have seen people having that up on the list, at least at the bottom, you'd think, but it's not even hitting 1 million, let alone anywhere near this 14 million in a week. So yes, it's really unfortunate because I think that Sony does have some really good exclusives, and it's the whole reason I have a PlayStation. But this makes me worried for Housemarque and other studios that are making these more unique, super dope games, because they're not being supported. Live service games are being supported. And that is why Sony tries to make like 25 damn live service games, because that is what people are playing.
It makes me once again question what Sony was saying about taking back their IPs from Steam. Because I think Soros would have been a banger on Steam.
It
would have came by day one.
I said the same thing.
That is
I think
a great
Soros,
point.
I think bullet hell, like it's a niche.
Y'all lied, Sony. Y'all ain't selling shit.
Bullet hell. Like that, those games are, I think, way more popular on PC. I think it would have done a lot better on Steam.
Yeah, so to reiterate JG's point, what he's saying, if you're not following, is a couple podcasts ago when Sony announced they're pulling their games off of PC and they said it was due to sales, and we all called cap because like a year ago they were saying they love PC. Soros is an example. They are lying. It's all propaganda. Don't fall for the corporate bullshit. You guys need PC because right now they can't get off Fortnite. And Sony's
the numbers are showing, and now there's nothing y'all can say now. Again, if it doesn't apply to you, then don't take offense. But this is what the overall spectrum is. Going back to Watt's point, like this is unfortunately some damage that we've all done. Again, I'm not saying just the casual gamers, but this is just the overall spectrum of what we've done as a whole, and what we consume nowadays are just live service games. So now we got to deal with this. So every time y'all go and say, oh, who asked for this? Again, you did. So vote with your wallet. We keep saying it. Vote with your wallet. Get off these damn live service games and play something else.
You ain't got to buy everything. We get it. People are on a budget, but you have to understand it is a vicious cycle. And if you don't support some of these games, which are getting these rave reviews, they're going to stop making them. And then your PS5, your PS6 is going to become the GTA 6 machine. It's going to become the Fortnite. And then it becomes a vicious cycle because those same casuals are complaining. Why won't we get no new games? Because y'all not buying them. Y'all debate with the numbers. I'm not going back.
Ultimately, like games are businesses, and these big companies that need to make a lot of money are going to make the games that they think are going to make a lot of money in a lot of cases. So
who was it? Was it Picasso or Van Gogh? One of them, they killed themselves. They offed themselves because nobody bought his art. And then they died. And all of a sudden, everybody loves this shit. You could have got more of it, bro. Which one was it? Or was one of them cut a zero? But one of them. That's the point, man. Support art. God damn. Speaking of art, let's move over to AI. This is a hot topic. Actually, one of our favorite studios is in a little bit of hot water. The Liza P. Yo, Ethos, get it together. He's like, what the fuck?
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw it on Twitter, I'm not gonna lie. I literally, the first thing I saw, I was like, I double take. I was like, wait, what? And then I said, oh, this gotta be Watts' 9/11. I was just like, this is
Darling Studio Neoiz, the people behind Liza P, are in some hot water because a job listing appeared online for the company, and they are currently looking to hire an AI artist. In specific, they're looking for people who can help modeling aids and assets using AI texturing, implanting AI tools into existing art workflows to speed up things. You got to be able to use Mid-Journey and get the latest generative AI trends. You need to learn how to generate the art. But there's some interesting things specifically in this article. So the job posting in question is not a role that will be directly involved with production of the Liza. So there's no AI being used on Liza P2. Let's get that correct. Instead, they will reside within an independent art research and development team at Round 8. The Gen AI tools are only used in a preliminary stage work to improve efficiency of repetitive. So it sounds to me like they're using it to get general ideas, and they're going to use an actual artist to basically flesh out those ideas. If I'm reading that correctly. And then AI generated visuals function strictly as internal reference material during pre-production, a method of establishing visual direction before formal production begins. The intent is to build a proprietary visual library trained exclusively on assets for which Neoiz and Round 8 hold full legal rights. All final assets for the upcoming game will be created by experienced artists. So yeah, they're using Gen AI to create a rough draft, then artists will come in and flesh out that idea. Also, they made it very clear that they're only generating stuff based off of things that they own the rights to. So they're basically taking art from, previous games they made, throwing it into Mid-Journey, remix, and then if they find something they like, they're going to flesh it out with the experienced artist. Ethos said this is your 9/11. How you feeling about this, Watts?
Yeah. So I was feeling pretty good about Neoiz because their big guy in charge did an article about AI and said that, we're not going to push any developers towards AI, and where we think AI is actually useful is in data analysis. Like if we do a play test and we get all of that data and it can kind of consolidate it for us. And that's the kind of stuff that we're looking at AI. I was like, okay, good. That means Lies of P is safe. But Neoiz is it's Round 8 who is a part of Neoiz, and I guess Round 8 maybe thinks that generative AI can be used for other things and not just data analysis. So with their explanation, I do like that it's going to be stuff that they own, because I've read a huge article that was done by SkillUp's own website that he has. They interviewed a bunch of concept artists, and they said that one of the hardest things with working with these Gen AI things is that we have to spend a bunch of time making sure that none of this is copywritten. So we just end up wasting a bunch of time because we have to check that we're not stealing stuff. So I'm glad that they're not going to be working with stealing stuff from artists. That's great. We hear a lot of this from companies of it's just going to be in the preliminary planning stage, the concepting phase, and then we're going to draw the concept art. But I would say arguably that's one of the more important stages when it comes to cohesion in your world, immersion of your world, an example from another one of these conversations with concept artists is they said that a big part of what they do isn't just like drawing a thing that looks good. It's all to do with, say they want to make a village set in a certain time period in a certain part of the world. They go and explore what that looks like in real life. They go and look at reference pictures of what that exists. How is the infrastructure set up? What is the irrigation like? What kind of buildings do they have? What materials are they using? And when you're just generating references, it kind of misses a lot of that. So a really good concept artist is normally someone who does a lot of research about stuff that's real, and they're building those databases in their head of things that they've had experience with before, and then they're creating really good concept art. So cutting out that, we're not going to see the fallout from that immediately, but I would be really worried about all these companies generating references in the coming years, because you're going to start to lose that skill set of concept artists. They're not going to have that built up knowledge from the extensive research that concept artists do. I'm also really worried about the fact that a lot of concept artists get a job based on concept art that they do, and having everything just be generated in the concepting phase, it kind of destroys that job pipeline for a lot of artists as well. So I don't have an issue necessarily with just like ethically of what they're doing. They have artists still. They're not replacing any artists. It's all going to be stuff that they own. They're not using it to create art that's going in the game. But it does concern me for the future of game development. I don't think it's necessarily healthy for game development to have this.
I get what you're saying. I think you're trying to argue it could potentially stifle critical thinking within the concept of like art.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I agree with that. And then also, I'm gonna go as far as to say, look, in this press release, they said all the right things, but I feel like this is a slippery slope. Because what I think you didn't mention was they said they're only going to use their art to generate AI as their own assets that they legally own. Who's verifying that? Like, that's just what they said. Do we have a third-party independent verifier doing that? Because otherwise, why should I trust you? I think that's a slippery slope where people could potentially lose their jobs. I see you shaking your head over there. What you think, Jay?
I mean, yeah, they said all that and it sounds good, but again, the general person is going to be like, hey, you hire somebody to use Midjourney and Gen AI assets. Like, nobody is trying to hear that. That's a huge red flag. And those super hardcore people that are like, look, if you're using Gen AI in any form or fashion, whether it ends up being in the game or not, I can't support this. And for me, I've said it before, I'm not there yet. And I do, going back to TBH's point, I do think that it's a slippery slope anytime that you're even, saying that you're going to use Gen AI, but you're not going to use it in the final game. You're just using it for concept. Again, who else to say, 3-5 years down the line, you just say, forget all that. We're not going to, we're going to just eliminate the concept artist, period, and just use Gen AI because we like how it looks. And we're going to cut out on, the money that we have to pay this person and the time that it would take for them to bring something from concept to full release. So it's just, it's bad. Again, it sounds good what they're saying right now, but I just worry about the future. Now, am I going to not play Lies of P2? I will be a fucking liar if I said no. I'm not gonna play it. So again, don't be coming back to me like, hey, JG, you said you weren't gonna play it because you did now. I'm gonna play the damn game. Like I said, it's hard for me to be like,
it just entered full production too. This news came out. I was real mad. This news came out like an hour before the news of Lies of P sequel going into full production, and I was like, great.
Yeah.
Wish
But
I
it's
could
like
just be
Neoiz around. They don't make me have to put on, get the sword out. They have to try to defend y'all because of this bull, right? Like I just want to play a good game at the end of the day. So I would rather you not hire someone to do Gen AI and just get it done yourself. I get it. AI can be used to shorten development time. Cool. But for the generative AI stuff, that's where I'm teetering the line here. I've said it already, but I'm teetering the line on whether I can accept y'all doing that or not. It goes across the board. So it's tough for me right now. I'm battling with myself because I know what's going to get bad.
I'm not gonna go as far as to say I won't play Liza P2 as well, especially because they said they weren't gonna use AI. But here's where I do gotta call. The story's a little sus to me, and maybe it's because I'm ignorant to how generative AI works. But in theory, right, if they only are using Midjourney with art that they've created, as far as I'm concerned, Neoiz is a new studio. And the only game they put out is Liza P, and they probably have the artwork in the background for Liza P2. Now, unless Liza P2 was a much more vibrant game, which I suspect it will not be because it's going to be like the first one, wouldn't everything they generate have like a dark, gritty look if they only have one asset to reference versus like, I don't know, someone like Activision who has an entire repertoire of games like Spyro, Tony Hawk, Call of Duty. So you have different things.
does have a lot of games.
What are the games they made? Am I ignorant? That's what I said. Maybe I'm ignorant to this.
Round 8 is a pretty new studio that's only done Lies of P.
Okay.
But Neoiz does have a bunch of other games. A lot of them are kind of like anime looking.
I'm gonna pull them up.
Yeah, if you go into Steam, you can see at least.
Watch this shit ass. I'm pulling it. They got a bunch of Google Store. These ain't even on the iOS. Bunch of Google Store knockoff games.
Skull is very good. Skull, the Hero Slayer. I did play the demo for that. That one is developed by Southpaw, published by Neoiz. So Neoiz is a publisher. And if they're getting, I assume if it's your publisher, maybe you have to give them the right to use your art in a Gen AI thing that's used by other studios, but then that adds another question for me is what if there is a studio who is being published by Neoiz who doesn't want, say, Round 8 to use their art in their generative system? Mm-hmm. Then are they going to then be forced to have their art put into that? And that is a whole other problem. Yeah. I think Gen AI in general is more of a headache than a solution. And I know that there's a lot of devs who also believe that. They're like, I'm just wasting time fixing mistakes that AI does.
What do you think about it all, Ethos?
I'm honestly, real quick, I'm really hoping that because it doesn't seem like Neoiz from their interview that they did are forcing studios to use AI. I hope they end up seeing the kind of pushback from all of this on a day that was supposed to be really exciting with them announcing Lies of P is in full production. And now the conversation is just about like them being scumbags and making AI slop, that they go, hey, maybe we don't do that. But that's copium and hopium.
Yeah, bullying. We want to bully him. Maybe
you gotta bully them. You have to gotta bully these studios.
Ethos.
Yeah, I've tried. I keep trying to have a very nuanced view on as much as I can about AI stuff, because I do believe there is. I know. I've had some conversations with like some people on Twitter. Like I've talked to Gene a little bit. Like Gene talks a little bit about it too, and it seems like a lot of the media apparatus is kind of just accepted and just believes that at this point, like, this is an inevitability. I think at this point we're no longer at the point of. I think we lost. We lost another war. I don't think. I just don't think that the outpour or the outrage compared to like is not reflecting much on the
sales.
So until that happens, I don't think that even if you can say other stuff and all these sort of things. I mean, we just saw it with Crimson Desert, and I think the play is going to just always be just do it. Doesn't really matter. Just do it. Someone on the higher up is going to just force people who probably don't want to do it to do it. I know a lot of people who like are in IT or something else, whether they're programs or whatever it is, who are just like, I don't want to use this thing, but I'm being forced to use it. I have to. They're making me use it because they think it's going to make it more optimal. I think until we get to the point where I think that news recently came out that companies are starting to realize it's starting because of all the pricing and tariffing and everything like that. It's actually costing more to replace their workforce with AI and upkeep the AI than it is to just have human workers now. I think there's starting to be this like, I think that's what it's going to have to take, is like, it's going to have to actually take like an economic money type of shift to make them move away from this. But I mean, my position has always been pretty clear. I don't really necessarily have an issue if you're using AI for like kind of what Watt said. Like if it's a lot of the technical side of video games, the testing of the game to help optimize it so that like, because like, and again, I say this because I always want to think that people are going to do this in the most ethical way possible. I'm saying that in the guise of even still using AI, but I'm saying as like, you're not going to fire people to do this. I'm hoping you're doing this to help alleviate the like QA workers who've been abused for decades of being forced into long hours for very shitty pay, that they don't have to be up at like from like crunching to like 1 o'clock in the morning trying to find bugs that potentially like AI could help, organize the bugs or help find them a lot faster. And I think that there is a space that if things can get more optimal and get more better, I do think there is space, not necessarily that they should take up, because I've always felt that AI should be used as a tool to help enhance the most annoying, regurgitative, non-creative aspects that do prevent the creative aspects from being able to shine, where you're trying to do all this shining and you're trying to do all this cool creative work, but you're being inundated with a bunch of mundane tasks that slow down your process. I think a lot of AAA has had this problem, whether it's even like 3D artists. I know Dell talks about like 3D artists having to deal with like mocap cleanup and all these other processes that are like, or like not QA, I believe like programmers who have to like mass prototype stuff, and it's taking them weeks to potentially do this. Like if you told somebody, it was like, I think like if the conversation was a little bit different and you told people like, hey, look, let's have an honest conversation here. Without trying to like, we're trying to replace people's job, but we try to say, hey, look, we are going to do a test and we're going to do, okay, here, we're going to prototype 2 things, not creative wise, but just like, how long does it take us to implement these creative ideas? So the creative idea, completely human, nobody's touching this. How long does it take us from a creative aspect, I mean, not from creative, from a technical standpoint, to get a prototype up and running for us to test these ideas to see if they're good? And what I mean by that is like just the technical aspects of, okay, let's get a character controller up and running. Let's get them to try like with this sort of mechanic. How long would it take from like an AI to, with a human like prompting that AI to build like the prototype they needed to build, compared to a human manually every day typing the code out, testing it, re-empting it, finding bugs, fixing those sort of things. So I think that sort of like realistic, like down to earth type of conversation needs to happen sooner rather than later. But again, to what I think we're all dealing with is the truth is like, it's always been this black box. It's bad enough that game development has always felt like this black box that gamers try to think they understand. Most of the time they don't, or they misunderstand it. And then on the reverse time, developers don't really want to all the time publicly say that box for whether it's legal reasons or, they don't want to, bring out all the jazz to it. But at the same time, they don't want to also deal with gamers also like attacking individuals because they don't want to deal with the public publicity of like blowback. So like it's just a bunch of it's a bunch of just really bad, terrible just situations altogether. My opinion, and will always stand, I personally am tired, and me opinion, I will personally, in my reviewing of a game, if you are using AI in a creative factor to build your game, I don't have an issue if you're using it to help you with your programming, if you're using it to help you with your like any technical aspects, anything to help you with your pipelines. As long as it's like technical aspects, I don't have an issue with that. But if you're using it to help you with concept art, if you're using it to help you with like to make 3D models and stuff like that, and it's not, humans are not making the creative or even writing, if you don't have a human writing it and you're having an AI write the story for you or write like lore and stuff like for you, that's a no-no. Like I'm automatically taking points off. I don't care how good it seems. I don't care how like, oh, it's only this little bit. I will just off principle take, like, I'm going to give you a negative connotation for that to deter you from wanting to do it again. But that's not going to stop a lot of people from, doing what they're going to want to do. So it sucks. I feel for all of you, because I feel like this reminds me back when I was a wee little lad. And I remember good old death of an industry ethos. And I remember how, you get on a certain, this is my, the principles, and you have to stand on these principles about it. But then as you stand on these principles, it just feels like you're just losing day after day, month after month, and you don't see anything. And now you're living this reality where it's like, either I just cannot engage with it anymore, or I have to now start making compromises in my own principles.
What if you steal it, Ethos? How do we feel about stealing?
Me personally, this is my take. I'm an indie dev. I would love players to buy whatever I make. So I'm working on two things right now, and I hope people would buy the game. But if someone's broke, I'm not going to be mad at them for wanting to try my game. If they illegally downloaded my game and they played it, I wouldn't be mad about it. I would just be like, hey, they didn't have the money for it. I wouldn't be mad about it. Now, I would hope in that respect.
You know somebody's going to clip this, right? When your game comes out.
I mean, yeah, but it's fine. I genuinely, what's the point? Let me say it like that. What's the point of me getting mad about it? If they're going to do what they're going to do, what's the point of me like adding flame to the fire? If they're gonna do it regardless, like without my permission. They're gonna play the game they're gonna crack it, they're gonna play it. It's like the de novo thing. It's like, I'm gonna put this de novo off, I'm gonna piss off a bunch of people, and they're just gonna crack it anyway.
A cheater's gonna cheat. I got you.
Yeah, cheaters are gonna cheat. I did a whole research about it. Like, people who are in that mentality are going to do it regardless, unless you make the deterrent so strong that they're not going to do it. The problem is there is no strong enough deterrent to make people do that. I would just say
I think that's the best approach, Ethos, to just be like, if you pirate it and you play it and you enjoy it,
please give me some money later.
Yeah, if you want to like buy me a coffee, like do something, send a little bit, maybe buy the game and leave a review, like whatever, support me in some kind of way. But
I've seen this story happen multiple times online where people were like, I'm not gonna lie, I cracked the game, I stole the game, I did not pay for it, but I'm not gonna lie, I loved the game so much that I felt really bad. And I think we've experienced that. Where we played games that we really loved, and I was like, damn, I want to give them more money because I really loved it that much. And
I stole Final Cut when I first started making content because I couldn't afford it. I bought it eventually.
No,
it's been 10 years. It's been 10 years, bro.
No, I think there's a little ethical difference of like, this is a multinational corporation that's making billions upon billions of dollars. I think Nintendo, there is an ethical argument I think that you can make for specifically Nintendo, where there are games that they are intentionally locking you out and preventing you from being able to play, and there's no other way that you can play them. I think there is an ethical argument you can make for those games that I would say it's ethically okay for you to allegedly take those games.
How about ethically taking games that have used AI in their development?
If it is a principle standpoint where you like, if it is a really bad, like blatant, let's say like Crimson Desert, if you cracked it just because you were like, yo, fuck Crimson Desert, and you do it just to be petty, I say you could go for it. Who am I to stop you? Go for it, bro. Just go for it. I'm not going to stop you. But I do think that it's $1 billion corporations. $1 million corporations made a bunch of money. I think that line is very easy for you to cross and you don't really feel bad about it. But I do think it's a little bit different if it's like a smaller indie dev and you're doing that to somebody who's like a smaller indie dev. Now, the indie dev's a piece of shit. I say, do whatever you're going to do. But at that point, I was just like, if you're not going to really mess with it, just don't play it. Like, don't engage with it. Don't give it air. But reversely, like, I do get it. People are at different times. The economy fucking sucks. So I don't blame somebody who's going to crack a game they want to play because, like, bro, games are expensive. It's $70 damn, bro. But, like, I don't know. That's all I can say. Like, that's just me, my personal, like, I would hope, people get the benefit, but, it is what it is. People are going to do what they're going to do.
They're going to do what they're going to do. I mean, on the flip side, though, Neoiz is in hot water, round 8. But former BioWare GOAT, Casey Hudson made his stance on AI, where he said that, he just doesn't find it very interesting. He's unimpressed. He said it's hard to imagine where it's actually helpful in the process. He said it's creatively soulless, and he's actually unimpressed. This is in regards to talking about the new Star Wars game coming up, because they were asking if he was going to use it. And then it was also revealed that the game is being funded by the Greater Than Group, which is formed by it's an investment group formed by a former NetEase executive. And they got like 40 billion. I think they're getting up to 40 million, up to 60 million in investments. And Casey said that they don't want to spend more than like 4 to 5 years on development. So the game is coming sooner than later. It won't. They're trying to make sure it's not in development hell. So I think that means Star Wars is going to have. This new Star Wars is going to have heart in it. I don't think you have to worry about the whole Gen AI in this part, because he's made it very clear where he stands. And I'm happy to hear that he's got money behind it. I just hope this new investment group actually lets the game breathe and doesn't panic if it doesn't sell 100 million copies off rip, because it's being funded by a former NetEase person. And NetEase
he seems kind of base, though.
He was based on what I read. I was like, wow.
I was like,
actually had a brain. Yeah.
Am I thinking of Neoiz or Nexon that cut? Because who funded
It's both of them.
First Berserker? Who funded First Berserker?
That was Nexon.
Okay, never mind. I'm thinking of the wrong company because they
NetEase,
as soon as it didn't sell 100 billion copies.
NetEase is just as bad. That's still like a Chinese company that like pushes like a bunch of microtransactions and you know.
Seriously, sometimes it's gonna take your second like First Berserker Kazan 2 to see the sales that you want. You need to let games be able to make their legacy, get their audience.
Or you can end up like Titanfall.
Yeah. We'll talk about it later. I mean, we couldn't get Jack 2 without Jack 1, and you know people love Jack 2 and 3.
Now we don't got no Jack.
Yeah, we don't got no fucking Jack. Don't worry, we're getting more Last of Us. Another remaster. Last AI story. Sony patents an AI that automatically turns your gameplay into clips. If you haven't read the article, there's potential that the PlayStation 6, or it might never happen, because keep in mind, a patent is just a patent. Doesn't mean they're going to use the technology. But don't be surprised if the PlayStation 6 has a feature in there that'll automatically clip your gameplay. And I think the thing that's interesting about it is it's using the AI to learn your play style. So if you're somebody who doesn't normally win, you normally get a sub 1 KD, it'll know to clip a moment if you finally get it in the game. And vice versa, if you're really good at games, it's not going to clip everything unless you do something super extraordinary. I thought that was kind of cool, and I'm kind of with Ethos on how AI is used. I'm not completely against AI. For me, I don't think this harms anybody. If they put this in the PlayStation 6, I think most people will like it. I think it's fine. What do y'all think?
I think it's cool. Like, I don't see any negatives, surrounding this one. Just take it with a grain of salt. We talked about multiple Sony patents on this show. They could or could not end up implementing this because apparently Sony wants to patent a lot of crap. But this one will make more sense for them to proceed with if they want to. So I think it's cool. Now, will people use it is the next thing, like, because you would have to obviously implement it yourself and share it, across multiple platforms if you think it's cool enough for people to want to see. So that's going to be the other thing. But if you're just doing it in the background, like, hey, like we made this clip, you want to share it, like one button share to all the platforms, then cool. Just do that. I think it'll incentivize more people to make content and share it. So it's cool.
Yeah, I'm not against it at all. I think that's totally fine.
Yeah, I think this is a feature they would use in the next PlayStation, just for the simple fact that we saw it's 14 million Fortnite players a week. This is a feature that would definitely benefit multiplayer gamers. So I think this is something they would actually put in the next joint.
And every 10-year-old wants to be a content creator.
I'm gonna keep saying,
bro, even get that out, bro.
Running back to Titanfall, exclusive from Insider Gaming. Apparently, the creators of Splitgate are working on another game, and it's a spiritual successor to Titanfall. According to Insider Gaming, pre-alpha gameplay footage was sent to Insider on the condition that it doesn't go public and shows players fighting in team deathmatch using grappling hooks, wall running, and boost pads to quickly traverse around the map. But what's particularly exciting is that players are also able to use giant mechs that are scattered across the map, and they look strikingly similar to Titanfall mechs. The footage sent to Insider shows a player grappling inside a mech and then dominating the match with the mech's primary Gatling gun. While it's not clear whether the game will have mechs with different abilities, this particular mech used a shield for extra protection against enemies and a missile launcher with the cooldown. And then it just goes into the know about yapping about who 1047 Games is, who made Splitgate 2, then shut that down after the MAGA incident and made Splitgate 2 the remix. So they're now on another game, which is supposed to be a Titanfall. And if you trust, because they can't show it for NDA reasons, if you trust them, they said they saw it, they described it. Let's act like it's real for a second. I'm leaning towards, I don't have a reason to. Well, I don't know. I don't trust them. I don't know. I'm leaning more towards it's true than it's not, but they can be kind of sketchy. Watts, how we feeling about this? Would you forget? Is all forgiven after the bad joke on stage if they make a fire ass Titanfall clone?
Yeah, so I think, was it like him or the studio came out a little while ago saying that they were making a Titanfall spiritual successor? I remember seeing that and being like, oh, okay. So
it was the studio themselves. Yeah,
it was the studio. Okay, yeah. So seeing that Inside Gamer has actually said that they've seen it, I'm like, okay, I guess they're working on it. Would I forgive it? I think so. I think my biggest thing is I just want to see that they can manage games properly. Because I feel like their approach to their games has just not been good. They've been They should have stuck with Splitgate and kept putting a bunch of more money and content into that game. People were playing it. People were enjoying it. Like, I haven't ever seen anyone say that Splitgate feels bad or it's not fun. Like, that game got a ton of praise. So clearly they can make a game that a lot of people enjoy, but I haven't seen so far that they can manage a game once it gets its success or carves out a place for itself. I would personally love to play a game that's like Titanfall. I don't think the mass public wants to, though. I don't know if the mass public wants these like movement-based shooters. I don't think they want them. We see things like anything that's following CS:GO or more tactical, slow kind of things popping off more than having these super fast like arena shooting games. So I don't know how well it would do. I'd be definitely intrigued to see what they do. Like I said, I think they generally make pretty good feeling games that are fun. So we'll see. We'll see. I would definitely check it out. I would check it.
I think what the CEO did is forgivable. Time has passed. I don't really care that much. If the game is fire, if it's not, I'm gonna get these jokes off. And that being said, too, if they really are working on this, it can't be Titanfall 2.5. Like, they're gonna have to put their own stamp on it. Because to be fair, Titanfall 2 failed. Titanfall failed. So they're gonna have to do something to make it stand out. They can have the DNA in there that's gonna make it to where it sticks for people and they stay on the game. And like, I kind of agree with Watts. I don't think they manage games very well. They came out with Splitgate 2, and like 2 months later they canceled it and said we're gonna remake it because for some reason they wanted to take out all the features that made Splitgate 2, and go back to Splitgate 1. With slightly better I don't know what the fuck they got going on with it. I don't want to see a situation where they put out Titanfall 3 and then they're like, you know what? Let's make Titanfall 1. We're going to remove all these features that made this version unique, and then we're going to downgrade the graphics. I just don't understand what their plan is in the long term. And also, don't overprice the microtransactions if there's any at all. What do you think? You're a big fan, Ethos, of Titanfall.
I mean this being a little bit funny. Is there an original bone in this studio's body? I feel like from the very beginning, and I mean this out of love. I mean this out of love. I really do. I do not mean this to be facetious. I feel like since the very beginning of this studio's creation, it's been regurgitating kind of the hits, the classic, like nostalgia hits. The first game they do is
Titanfall with portals.
Yeah, Halo with portals. Then it's Halo with portals. Then it's now it's Apex with portals. Now it's Hero Shoots with portals. Now it's now we're going to go, okay, now we're going to hit the Titanfall nostalgia. I'll be honest with you. Like, I have to see more, so I'm not willing to just like completely like throw them away off rip. I think that they have to get a lot of goodwill back because, again, I think you're going to have that reputation. There's studios that have that reputation of, oh, this studio doesn't really support their stuff. Like they just put it out and they don't really, they move on to the next thing. You don't really support it. Kind of what you said. I don't think we saw with Splitgate 2. They try to support it, but I think they just realize and accept it. I don't think that's really like their fault. Well, it is their fault, but I don't really feel like it was the fault of like, oh, we're just going to actively sabotage this project. It was just players didn't gravitate to it. They kind of self-sabotaged themselves, shooting themselves in the leg about their whole marketing self-sabotaged themselves. The game just came out at a bad time where everyone was sick and tired of that type of game, and they really shot themselves in the foot. So I kind of agree with what Watts is saying. I've come to terms with it. I've said it's time. I know for a fact there are Titanfall hardcore fans that just refuse to accept it and acknowledge it. They want to give every excuse under the sun. I argue with them on Twitter all the time about it. They refuse to acknowledge that they are part of the problem about why Titanfall failed. They refuse to acknowledge that the sweats did kill Titanfall. Like, it has killed every resemblance of why Titanfall cannot resurgence itself. And they keep saying, well, no, that's not the problem. It was because of the hackers. I was like, well, the hackers been gone. The servers have been fixed for months. Why are people not coming back in droves? Because the people that are left are the most sweaty, hardcore people left on the game. And they are killing any sort of casual base of trying to come back to play and enjoy the game because they're getting murked. So they don't want to play. Kind of what Marathon's dealing with. They're dealing with Titanfall I've said it before. I literally get deja vu when I think about Marathon and Titanfall. They remind me so much of the same like fundamental issues that I think a lot of people don't just like. These conversations are hard because it requires the player base to come to acknowledge and accept that we might also be at fault for why the thing we love that we poured a bunch of hours into as the player base constricts and become smaller and smaller, they're going to have to constantly fight demons. They're going to have to fight some demonic, really good players. And there's no longer this like casual space that keeps these games alive. And that's why a lot of the games that you might not like, or the games that I constantly make fun of all the time, or what TBH always talks about, like, here's the Fortnite, like all these games are very successful because they understood that fundamental. And they made sure that these games had systems set up to keep that player base survive. There's a reason why skill-based matchmaking has been in Call of Duty for so long.
You're about to piss some people off.
I know. There's a reason why a lot of these games use skill-based matchmaking. There's a reason why Fortnite has added a bunch of bots to their games. These things are intentional. They know that these things are a requirement to keep their player base thriving and still playing. There's a reason why Apex has survived to my detriment as long as it has. They understood this very early on. And that's why while Apex has a very hardcore curve, they immediately made competitive ranked areas that would keep them in that place and keep the casuals still playing their little regular quick play stuff. So like these things are all very important. And unfortunately, Titanfall was way too late to that. They never built that type of system out. So Titanfall 2 was cooked. And just like Splitgate and the rest of these, I feel like they also did not build these things. So when you're building multiplayer games that are going to be basically placating the hardcore movement player base or any other hardcore base, you got to accept that, like, okay, we have to accept we're already going to have a lower player count, or we have to make sure that we have some sort of guardrails or some sort of systems already in place, or that we're going to be already set up to protect the casual player base who's going to play it. What you said, TBH, get off of work and hop on and play the game for 5 hours, not get mad about it and be like, I'm done with this. I'm never going to touch this game again. So yeah, people get mad all they want, but I stand by. That's the truth. And until people accept it, they're going to still see their favorite games keep dying.
Jay?
I would try the game out. I don't think that I hate this studio with a passion. I'm like, I don't want to play it. I would see it, and then I would. Yeah, I know. I would try it out, but damn, Ethos brought up a good point. He like, damn, man, they know how to do anything themselves? Come out with an original thought or anything, or we're just gonna just play off of just copy someone else's homework and then try to tweak it a little bit and making it to their own. We'll see though, but I mean, maybe third time's a charm. I don't know. maybe Splitgate 2, and then whatever this Titanfall potential clone is. So we'll see. But yeah, we'll play it by ear and then see where it goes from there.
Go ahead.
I was gonna just say with Ethos, what Ethos said as well, is like I've heard devs say, because I was definitely back in the day, I'm like, I hate skill-based matchmaking. We want to beat people up, and sometimes we're going to get destroyed, and that's okay.
Good. Yep.
But unfortunately, that is not the climate that we live in and haven't for a while now. People, when they get destroyed, they leave. And with all of the competition that is around now, and it continues to grow, people are like, well, I'm just going to go play the other game where I don't get destroyed.
Yeah.
You don't have to just deal with like 2 or 3 games anymore that you can play and sit there and go, well, if I want to play this thing, I got to get good at it. So, yeah, it's skill-based matchmaking exists because people quit if it doesn't.
Rebecca Ford said it best. She said, when Warframe came out, we were competing with at most maybe 1 to 2 to 3 competitors that potentially would like not play our game, play their game instead. Now it's like you drop a game, you're fighting against dozens of other games like your game in a live service space that you have to fight for their player bases. It's not, you have to do anything possible to placate as many people as possible to keep them on the game. And when you don't, your player count drops. Everybody starts dropping all these videos. Oh, this game's dead. All this sort of stuff. And then the narrative gets set. And then once the narrative gets set, it's too late. There's no way. It's going to take it's going to take a lot of work for you to flip the switch.
I think Ethos is right. I think the Splitgate devs don't have a creative bone in their body. And I'm glad you pointed that out. So I think after they're done making the Titanfall clone,
not being mean. I'm trying not to be mean. I'm just saying that
I think the next Titanfall, after the Titanfall clone they make, their next game will probably be an Assassin's Creed clone with a woman protagonist, since Ubisoft said they don't know how to do it. I think that could be a good game for them.
No, it's got to be a multiplayer shooter. They'll make Battlefield.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, they'll make a Battlefield clone. Yeah, it's got to be multiplayer. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be Battlefield.
And I'm not crazy, News, because some people try to convince me I didn't know shit about business. I tried to argue a company worth $12 billion cannot buy a company worth $41 billion. And some people try to tell me, no, that's not how it works, dude. You can finagle this, that, and the third. Well, eBay has come out and said, we have concluded that your proposal is neither credible nor attractive to GameStop. They are Matumbo in the paint. They are swatting that offer away. The half cash, half credit was not enough. I feel vindicated knowing that I'm not crazy because I'm like, I don't think they're going to get a loan for that. And then on top of that, the response from the CEO of GameStop when asked how he felt about failing to buy eBay, he said that eBay's ran by a bunch of fucking losers and he doesn't care. What's that doing for you?
I don't know what's wrong with this person. They're just making stuff up, lying. Clearly, you weren't gonna buy eBay. We knew that. We all knew that. I don't know who thought that was even remotely possible. They're just trying to drum up like drama in the news for themselves. I don't like this GameStop person.
Jay,
like drama queen.
Yeah, this is hilarious. First of all, eBay, shout out to you for so eloquently calling this man a loser and a fraud. Like where you even come from with this stuff? But Ryan turned around and calling the people that run eBay losers. It's very weird. Clearly, you're hurt after all this stuff happened because there's no way that you found eBay intriguing enough to want to buy them, but say that they're failing as a business in the last 5 years. That doesn't make sense. You want to buy a failing business? No, that's not the real case. And we know that you're lying about it. I think that Ryan wanted 2020 back. He wanted the COVID times when GameStop stock was up. I think he tried to manufacture it. I think that was the real play here. He tried to manufacture it and it didn't work. People started calling him out, like, how the hell are you gonna do this? It's half cash, half credit stuff. Yeah, he told me, like, you a broke boy at the end of the day,
you
bro.
You said this is the gaming version of, well, wait till see what Iceman drop. Will it drop?
Yes. This man tried to poly market. He tried to do whatever he could to try to get them stocks up, and it didn't work. So now he's resorting to name calling. So bro, just go back into your hidey hole. It didn't work, so we'll try again next time.
I feel like this is the corporate version of like that dude who ain't got no home trainer who tries to holler at a chick and then she denies him. He like, I don't want you anyway, ugly bitch. Like, wait, bro, like what are you talking about?
To me,
he's scaring the whole after he got rejected. Yeah, I look you anyway. You ugly.
That's not how it freaking works, dude. You're broke. Get out of here. Other news. Complex tweeted out that a new Infamous game is reportedly in the works. Take this with a super grain of salt. This is coming from the VGC podcast. Jordan Midler said on it, there is a groundswell of people that want Infamous. I'm under the impression that there is an Infamous thing happening somewhere else in the PlayStation at the minute. I feel like they took him out of context. I feel like this is him trying to conjure it. I wouldn't take this as a new Infamous game is in the works. I think he's
wait. I did read somewhere, somebody put on Twitter, I don't know if it's true or not. They said that Sucker Punch had a blog post where they said in that blog post, we are not working on anything Infamous at this time. And they said mysteriously when this thing came out, that blog post is gone.
Interesting.
It's not there. Now, I don't know how true. I forgot who said it. It was somebody I was like, okay, that's somebody who's not like, seems kind of reputable. But they said, I'm not saying this is true or not, but they're saying, I do find it the timing interesting that now all of a sudden this blog post disappeared. That Sucker Punch specifically said, we aren't doing that. It's like, instead of like editing it, just deleted it. So then, no, it's like, you said you weren't going to do it. It's like, now the blog post is missing. So
let's act like this is real for a second. What do we want? I'm going first. I don't want Cole. I know they use Cole in the picture. Bring back Delson Rowe. I need you not only bring Delson Rowe back, I need you to make the evil ending canon. And I need to know what happens. Spoiler, if you didn't play the last one. If you did the evil ending, I'm going to spoil it. If you did the evil ending, it ends with him blowing up his grandma's house and killing his family. I need to know what happened after that shit, bro. That shit was crazy, bro. Other than that, fire movement, crazy story, crazy skill tree, add co-op. Fetch was a big deal. He had 2 playable characters damn near. In the last one, so that's some type of co-op where we can run around and be superheroes and shit. What you want to see, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, I think we can introduce another character here, and it doesn't even have to be canon. It can be something totally different. So they can do that. But I remember I saw a tweet. I think like someone was just in nostalgia mode, but it was like a month ago, and they were talking about one of the underrated powers in Second Son. I remember when I got a PS4, like this was like the quintessential like best looking game on PS4, and this was like early in its life cycle too. I remember I finally got one. I was like, damn, man, like this was transcending the graphics at the time of what the PS4 could do. So a lot of people love Infamous. Is one of those, again, nostalgia type of franchises that Sony has. I mean, Sucker Punch could literally bring out another one because I think there is an audience that still will want to play it. So but I don't know what they're doing in the background, whether this is true or not, but I would love to see another one. So Sucker Punch, I mean, it's fine what you're doing right now, but I think you can definitely bring Infamous back, and I think the people, well, actually, maybe they won't, because it is years later, maybe they won't, maybe they'll still be playing Fortnite and won't play this. I can't even say that confidently.
They might not.
But me, I know.
Add Cole McGrath to Fortnite, and then maybe they'll play it. They'll be like, "Oh, he's in Fortnite."
It's the first
that character
game for Fortnite. Yeah,
that's
cool. Yeah. That's so cool. You didn't play the last one because you took your headphones off. So I was going to ask you, is there anything you want to say?
I didn't play the OG ones.
You only played Second Son?
Yeah, I only played Second Son. I never played.
You didn't see the ending I was talking about. Why you threw your headphones off?
No.
Like you was,
Well, I thought you were talking about like the second game's ending.
No, Second Son is the one that was on PS4 with Delson.
Oh, yeah, I played that one.
Hey, so you didn't do the evil ending then?
I just don't remember it.
Oh, okay. Damn.
I don't remember a damn thing.
Is that a good or a bad thing?
I don't know. Take that as you will. I just don't remember. I just remember there was the chick and she had the neon thing, and he had
that was
the
fetch.
thing.
Yeah, I would rather be her.
Yeah, and I thought the neon thing was cool. Yeah. He was, but everyone told me. I remember when I played it, everyone was like, "He's not as cool as Cole." So I was like, "Oh, okay." I thought the graphics were.
That
cool.
means I'm not supposed to like it.
No, I mean, the way the game when I played it, I was like, "This is alright." When I beat it, I was like, "Oh, this was alright." But then everyone was telling me, "Nah, bro, I'm telling you, Infamous is peak." And I played the new one. I was like, "It seemed okay. I didn't think it was anything crazy." And everybody was like, "No, you had to play the original ones." And I was like, "Well, damn, I wish I could, but they haven't done nothing. There's no remasters, there's no nothing. I can't play it. It's hostage on the PS3 right now, unless they made a port that I'm not aware of." But I don't know.
I don't think they did. Yeah,
yeah. Why they have not remade this? Or they shut down Blueport. Never mind. We don't got it.
Well, tell me if this is a good thing then. Mr. David Vonderhaar, Call of Duty Legends, working on a new IP, a new shooter. And there's a couple things to take away from this article. First, it's being funded by the same people who are funding the new Star Wars game we just talked about. The former NetEase executive. What's the name of the group? I forgot the name of the group, but it's the same group. Second, Vonderhaar confirmed he is not making another military shooter like Call of Duty, and instead is describing it as if David Lynch made shooters. It'll be a co-op game that isn't aiming to compete with COD, as players will be teaming up to face environmental challenges while combating other players. As of right now, the title of the game is yet to be revealed. Can anybody, because I'm dumb, what does that mean? If David Lynch made shooters, does anybody have an idea what that means?
It's Marathon.
All right, next.
The way he described it sounds like Marathon. He said an environment where players are fighting in an environment against other things, the environment and other players. Is that not an extraction shooter?
Maybe he won't be extracting, but yeah.
It's co-op, it sounds like. I don't know. Do we like David Vonderhaar? I feel like he's got a very interesting
like
relationship.
I feel like he got tore up by the Call of Duty community, but I think he was a cool dude. He was pretty.
Man, that man did one thing, and it would have ever been. As soon as he made that comment about the snipers, bro, nobody forgave him.
They gave that man for nerfing a sniper rifle. Oh my god!
Yeah, all it took was one thing. That was actually crazy. Now I'm thinking back in hindsight, man, why were we so hard on him?
We never know what we have until it's gone, man.
Compared to Robert Bowley, who actively lied in our faces about no last few last days. And people act like Vonderhaar like committed like a mortal sin against people just because he nerfed the sniper rifles, bro.
Yeah.
Oh man.
If anything, my biggest takeaway from this article was I found it. The name of it is Greater Than Group. That's the one that's also funding Star Wars, and it's funding this new shooter, this new IP from David Von Haar. This dude Zoo, who's got this investment firm, to me it sounds like they're pushing new IPs, new ideas, and that I welcome. Whether I don't know if it's going to be good or not.
Don't do what Embracer did. Please do not just start buying up a bunch of shit. Please don't.
Oh yeah, because that
Which doesn't sound like that's what they're doing. It doesn't sound like that's what
I'm
they're
just
doing.
saying, don't go that way. If you get a little bit of success and go, oh, let's just get this. Let's buy this, dude. Let's buy this. Like, please just don't do that, bro.
Keep pushing new ideas. I'm cool with that. I'm looking forward to your game, Von Haar. Hopefully it's fucking good.
I am too, bro.
I like anything. Like if you're saying you're not making just another military sim, then I'm interested in seeing what you're doing, because I do not want to play. I know a lot of people love military sims. I don't want to play military sims.
No, we tired of that shit.
Moving on to a topic that I know we are all never tired of talking about: Grand Theft Auto 6.
Just get this game out, TBH. We can stop talking about it.
Jesus.
Just have it come out already. Jesus Christ.
How do you think I feel when I put it on the show notes?
You don't have to. That's the thing. He doesn't have to put it on the show notes. He could just choose not to, but he's not.
Hey, listen. When Grand Theft Auto 6 is in the title, people click, man.
No, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
What's more important, being right or trying to get that click? You know,
making art or making games that people like. We're making live service games.
We're making live service podcasts right now.
I'm tired, boss. I'm tired of talking about
in my defense, at least I put it at the end of the podcast because I didn't want to talk about this shit. But until the game fucking comes out, we gotta talk about it, man. Grand Theft Auto 6 pre-order date has been leaked. And it was confirmed by Insider Gaming that it is real. Some emails went out early from Best Buy this week saying this Monday, right now it's Sunday, the 17th. So the 18th, when this drops this Monday, do not be surprised. Although it's not 100% confirmed. Insider Gaming said they confirmed it. But there's a high chance that this week pre-orders will go live via Best Buy. The game is coming out this year. Do we believe this is real?
Does that mean we're getting a pre-order trailer with like some gameplay?
I hope so.
Or no.
Or just that I think people are just more concerned with how much is it going to cost.
This game is going to break records because the way they're acting over just every little tidbit of news, like there was a video on Twitter of this dude holding up, because people were saying, oh no, the pre-order coming, it's fake. So this dude held up his phone to the screen and he recorded his screen on camera of him showing off the email. I said, oh my God, we're showing off pre-order emails, bro. I really hope this game is the second coming of Jesus, because I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a dark day on the internet if it's not. The way y'all are just putting all y'all hopes and dreams into this game. Oh boy.
I'm at least interested in seeing, if we get some actual gameplay on a pre-order trailer, and if we get and having the price. That's at least more interesting than talking about all the other stuff that we talked about.
And also what's more interesting is on the flip side, I feel like this story wasn't talked about enough. But according to reports, 80% of our audience would pay $100 for Grand Theft Auto 6. That's what the CEO said. He said he knows he can finesse y'all. How do we feel about that?
It's very sad, man. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of this argument, man. Everybody does their own poll, and it's like y'all will willingly pay $100. What is going on, bro? Gas is still up. Like we can't afford to live. We can't afford anything. But yeah, y'all will still just shell out your hard-earned money. You will willingly pay $100. You willingly just bend over. I don't get it. There has to be something that I'm missing, because this game is not that important in my opinion that I'm just willing to spend $100 and then think nothing of it.
The thing for me is people are saying that not only before the game is out, but before we've seen any actual gameplay. And I don't think that anyone should be that fast to say, I will give you all of my money, whatever you want, to the game that hasn't even really shown you anything at all. I understand when a game comes out and the game is like so good and you're like, damn, I'd like to give the developers some even more money. They deserve it. But this is like, I don't know why you shouldn't be this excited to give money to something that you haven't even seen, really.
Yeah.
Because now that we know the CEO knows, we don't want CEOs knowing that they can just steal your money.
Don't just willingly say it. Man. So that's my argument from the beginning. I'm like, can we at least see something? Like y'all have no clue what this game is going to be outside of one trailer and some leaks that happened, years ago. So and we got to at least wait for that, man. But y'all are willing to bend over, man. So tomorrow's going to be an interesting day if this is true and the pre-orders go live, because y'all are going to overload some sites, maybe all the sites, just trying to pre-order. The game ain't going anywhere, y'all. I just want y'all to know the game is not going anywhere. If they come up with some collector's edition, fine, but you'll be able to play the game. Just slow your brakes.
They playing in people's face at this point. I feel like y'all gotta understand that. Me personally, I wouldn't take that. I feel like this is a canon event, and if it does come out and it's $100, which I'm praying that it's not, we are fucking doomed. If you're in that camp of the reason I don't be buying these games because I can't afford them, and you pay $100 for that game, I don't care how long you've been waiting for it, you are going to fuck over the industry. You won't be able to see it come. It's going to be like when I warned people about VC and 2K back in 2K13. I said, don't buy this shit. It's going to get worse every year. And now they've ruined the franchise. They're going to ruin gaming as a fucking whole. Because everybody's going to start charging $100 for their games. And now we really not going to be able to afford nothing. Shit, that would even raise the shit probably on indie games. Because indie games that was costing $20, they may be like, well, I'm going to start charging $40. It's just going to be bad. It's going to be bad. And last but not least, in terms of GTA, not Call of Duty, there's a rumor floating around. It came from Twitter, and then this article published it. Some people are saying that GTA 6 review codes will not be distributed to reporters. This has not been confirmed anywhere. It's just a rumor. If this does turn out to be true, the point is, don't be surprised if there are no day one GTA 6 reviews when the game drops. Now, normally that's a red flag. Usually that means they're trying to hide something, but I'm going to give Rockstar the benefit of the doubt. They tend to make good games, so I feel like this is a nothing burger. But a wise man once said, named Justin Bieber, never say never. So I'm going to say there's a 90% chance this is a nothing burger, but I'm going to give a 10% because you should never say never. Don't be shocked if what if GTA 6 launches and it's completely unoptimized dog shit, falling through the map type shit. That would be a possibility.
That would be insane.
People would be mad at me.
Very funny though.
It would be funny. That would be hilarious. Because I keep telling people, like, temper your expectations. Like, we don't know. Like, don't expect online. Like, I'll be very shocked if online is available, because a lot of y'all just want to do that. So like, yeah, potentially some people, like users, not the general press, but like users could like knock points off. But they're like, what is this? I can't play online day one. Like, just their heads are just in the gutter. Yeah, like you can't do anything. So like I said, we literally have no clue. So we just need more information. But yeah, I think Rockstar is like, again, back to what we were saying. They're willing to pay $100. They don't care. They've been waiting on this game for over 13 years. Like, we know what our game is going to do, so we don't need anybody doing early reviews or getting their hands on anything. They're literally treating this. I mean, 'cause they already got hacked before, so I think they're just worried that like there are going to be a bunch of nefarious people out there just trying to get a quick buck, and they're going to let their friends or whoever else or any other insider trying to get their hands on it access to the game, and then it's just going to leak all over the place. So I get the extra caution, potentially, if this is true. But yeah, it is that slight chance that it's for other reason that they're just not as confident in the game, because this game has had some of the highest expectations that we've seen in a long time.
Any thoughts, Ethos? Cool. Then we're going to move on to the lightning round. Ladies and gentlemen, Intergalactic Heretic Prophecy, the space game coming from Naughty Dog. One of the actors in the game was on a podcast recently, and they said that the game ain't coming out for a few years. Specifically, they said, I actually acted in a few video games, and I realized this wasn't for me. I did do another one that's going to come out in a couple years, Naughty Dog one that's going to be really, really good. People believe that's in reference to the Intergalactic Space Heretic. So do we believe 27, 28, 29? Do we believe we're still ways out? Like Naughty Dog's going to keep milking that Last of Us? Any merit to this?
I'm always like, these games are never coming out until I see a release date and we're close to that release date and pre-orders alive and you've gone gold. I'm just assuming that we've got a while to go with these companies.
I actually believe this one, him saying that, for the simple fact that we know there's at least another season of the show coming of The Last of Us, so they're going to milk that. They have no reason, and you got to keep in mind, every time they drop a new season of the show, that boosts sales of the game. I wouldn't be surprised if like they start advertising that bundle again with the remasters on PS5, so it's going to boost sales of the game. Neil Druckmann, he's not worried about money. They're going to take their time. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a 28 game. Anybody else?
Agreed. Maybe even later.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 2028 just to be safe. Here is when I think it'll drop. Maybe into 2027, but I'm thinking 28.
It'll be the swan song of the PS5, just the same like Last of Us was for the PS4. So
conspiracy, and then remaster it for the 6.
Yeah. Makes sense. It would follow their pattern. So yeah,
makes sense.
They did it with Last of Us 1. It was PS3. It was the last years of the PS3.
People forget it's a PS3 game.
I think it went through 3 freaking consoles, bro. It's ridiculous.
Don't worry. Hey, before we move on to the next topic, who y'all think gonna get more remasters? The Space Heretic or GTA 6?
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about it too. I was like, probably gonna get like 4 different new versions.
I think GTA 6, but we'll see.
I don't know how popular the Intergalactic Heretic is going to be.
Yeah, do space like do Uncharted fans that like zombies? Do they like space games? I don't know. A lot of times,
it's Naughty Dog.
I do feel like sci-fi still gets like a that's for nerds kind of moniker versus like a zombie type of thing. So yeah, it could be a flop. Who knows? Devil Dinosaur announced for Marvel Rivals. Ethos, JG, are y'all still playing this game?
Nope.
I have not played it.
Nope.
I did see the trailer though. I did see the trailer.
I did see the trailer too. Yeah.
Devil Dino does look crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Like just
lasers.
He's a dinosaur.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the Madden Devil Dinosaur for the simple fact that, fun fact, I own Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur issue number 1, dropped in 2016. Dang. So I need you guys to get out there and buy those skins. Keep making Lunella Lafayette, aka Moon Girl, popular, as well as Devil Dinosaur, so the price of my book can go up. When I saw this shit, I said, "Oh my god, yes! I love when one of my books go up." Sega explains why it canceled its Super game. For those unaware, it was working on a Super live service type of game, but they showed some level of self-awareness that I'm not gonna lie, I wish more companies would share. I'm curious to hear y'all take on this. So they said the plan was to develop a AAA online title that would be able to achieve significant growth over time and could also act as a new form of entertainment, going beyond the concepts of conventional games. But ultimately, intensifying market competition and the emergence of competing titles with similar concepts as well as Sega's business conditions led to pulling the plug on development early. Translation: they were working on a live service game. They thought that shit was fire. Then they looked up and said, wait a minute, somebody else made this shit. They said, well, let's just go ahead and pull the plug on this one before we lose some money, a bunch of even more money. How we feel about this?
I mean, bravo, Sega. Bravo.
Yeah.
I wish other companies would do this. Exactly. Yeah. So there you go.
Let's see. This was a bit of a controversy online. Apparently, it was revealed that Marvel Token will have a single-player story mode, but the story mode will be told through comic book panels that you will have to read. Now, the reason I'm taking a wild guess they're doing this is because it's a Marvel fighting game, and they probably wanted to pay homage to the source material. But a lot of people on social media were upset that they had to read. Apparently it's going to be a 10-hour campaign or something like that, and in between the comic book panels you will be fighting out what leads up to the fights. I thought it was a cool idea to pay homage and include some type of single player story, but this pissing people off. I guess because I read comic books, it didn't bother me. Does this bother you?
I think it sounds kind of cool, but I have seen like there's games that have like different art styles, and then they'll have cutscenes, and then they'll have like ink blot, and then they'll have like kind of a manga or comic book panel, and people don't seem to like them. I always see people be like, oh, it's, why are they just having like a comic book spread or a manga panel for this cutscene or whatever? And I'm like, but I think it's kind of cool. Especially in, like you said, in like a superhero thing that comes from comic books. I think it's a cool idea. I like it.
Yeah, I had somebody in my chat when I was first covering this story say that he didn't like it. That shit was trash. And I said, to be fair, you're valid and feeling how you want to feel. You're allowed to feel that way. But I said, I'm just going to give you some perspective. I'm just putting it out there. You're saying it's trash to read. Are you standing on that? And the whole chat just started laughing. He was like, you know what? That's fair. Maybe they should add like voice acting to the panels to make it a little bit easier for some people. I don't know. You don't got to animate it, but I didn't really think it was a big deal. You can skip it if you want.
I just think that's fucking hilarious, though. People mad you got to read. Just that statement alone. Just like, I got to read some stuff.
Why don't they like it? Does anyone have a reason besides like, they don't want to read? Is there like...
because maybe they can't read. I'm thinking that's the thing. I put captions on every single video game that I play, by the way. And I put captions on when I'm like watching anything. I don't know about y'all, but I just love reading. Sometimes I may miss something. Like did I hear that right? And then I'll look at the cap. That's just what I'm used to. Like me and my wife.
Because I feel like my ears aren't as good. Like how I was younger, I was like, kind of.
Well, also these shows
definitely be turning the TV up louder.
They got people whispering, and then they have like loud ass things happening, and I'm like,
sometimes things go on in the background, and the captions do capture that and say it. So that's just me, but I just overall like reading stuff. I read faster. I swear, I don't know if people be bad, but when I be playing Yakuza, it'd be a lot of dialogue. So a lot of times I just be skipping through it, but I read it though, because I can read fast. So I'm literally just reading through the dialogue and just moving through. So I don't know if other people do that. That's just me, but I'll be like, yo, if y'all trying to figure out something, I can summarize it for you if it really here just to try to capture, just try to get through the story with me. But I don't know. I just like reading through stuff. And that stuff doesn't bother me.
I also don't play fighting games for story modes, so I don't really care that much.
That's the other thing. This isn't the full-fledged AAA. I don't like that. So I don't know. That's just weird.
They be doing everything but trying to go to that tutorial, boy. I tell you. Gears of War E-Day's release window just leaked. There was an event that's supposed to be going on, WWE Triple Mania, and an ad that was running to promote the event in Mexico. It was on TV. It revealed one of the sponsors is Microsoft and Gears of War. And in the ad, it said the game was dropping in September. So I'm leaning towards this about 95%. This is a fact. This is true.
September's closed.
Yeah.
September is
I don't want to see September for you,
and
Gears.
also,
I'm sorry.
Closed.
The reason I do think this is real, too, is keep in mind they just announced they're about to showcase the game next month in June. They're going to do a full. So I'm like, that lines up with this ad. They're going to do a 30-minute showcase for the Xbox thing. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. September kind of rough, man. Woof. I'd hate to put Gears on the back end.
My birthday month, man. I'm going to be pop, bro.
What did I say?
Wolverine coming out, man. Phantom Blade Zero.
You know I'm going to say it.
Well, say what you got. Say what you got.
I'm just saying. Y'all just gonna play that shit for a month and then y'all gonna stop playing it.
Man, nah, dog.
It's gonna
be the other game. It's gonna be the other game that'll do that. If that happens,
they're all evil. I'm gonna be sitting there like, I told y'all.
We might have to pull some bullshit, some homework shit. Be like, all right, Ethos, you got this game. Watch, you got this game. So we all can cover all these goddamn games because it's just no way we're all playing everything, man. This is
but which game do you care about the most? You play that this week.
I feel like December be wide open. Go ahead, Microsoft. Push that back to December, man. Push it back to December. We got other games to play.
Don't do September.
Yeah. Arc Raiders is in hot water. Ethos was mentioning it earlier how the community's turning on them, and one of the reasons why they're turning on them is not just because they're not patching the glitches and the bugs, but now there's slow updates. They announced we're shifting to bigger and better game updates, but only twice a year. In between, there will be, smaller patches to fix bugs and glitches, but now there's only going to be 2 content drops a year. And this pissed off a lot of people. The player count is going down. Ladies and gentlemen, you're always one patch away, or rather lack thereof patch away from killing your game. I do feel like, not because the game is terrible, but I feel like there's so many good games coming out. This announcement was so tone deaf. I'm like, do y'all know that they're kind of pissed at y'all? And you got Wolverine, Phantom Blade Zero, Gears of War, GTA 6. Some people can't get.
They don't play those games.
That's right. Next topic. You're right. Next
Yeah, what are you
topic.
talking about?
Hey, I stand on it. When Wolverine come out, I will be watching those numbers, bro. Y'all better buy that Logan game, man. Oh my god.
They might. Spider-Man, I think.
Nope, it's made by a studio that they like. Yeah, so they'll buy it.
Yeah. It
Spider-Man's
absolutely is.
Yeah, so.
Series writer for the Dead Space series said, "Are you looking forward to Dead Space Force? Don't count it because the numbers aren't there. Translation: y'all don't buy games."
What were we just saying?
Dude, we saw it with the remake of Dead Space, and everyone loved it who played it. It was like
it was great.
Better than the original.
Well.
It was great.
You know?
And then they're like, "Oh, well, it didn't sell, so we're actually not going to do anymore."
It's tragic.
I don't get it. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me.
And apparently, Dead Space 2 remake was in like pre-production. They just assumed the first one was going to sell, and people didn't buy it. Unfortunately,
it makes me really sad.
So don't expect a Dead Space 4. Harada, former head developer of the Tekken series, he made it successful. He left Tekken a few months ago. And people thought he was going to retire, like take an extended break. But no, here we are months later. He's resurfaced and he's now formed a new studio under SNK. They gave him his own umbrella. So he's working on a new fighting game, a new original fighting game. The studio is Versus Studio SNK, which for those unaware, SNK is a big rival of Capcom. They make King of Fighters as well as Samurai Showdown. Their games have always been a little bit more hardcore, more niche. How we feeling about this, Jay? We keep an eye on this.
Yeah, I thought my boy was going to ride off into the sunset. Harada in the FGC industry is a legend. Like he comes to Evo, he's very, very like he'll reply to you on Twitter. I remember he's wondering about the Waffle House. Why does everyone want the Waffle House in Tekken?
I'm into it.
He's like, I like it. I'm like, just go to a Waffle House in Atlanta at 2 a.m. and you'll see. So yeah. For him go to SNK, the rivals of Bandai Namco and Tekken, I mean, and Capcom, that's very, very interesting. I thought my boy was done. So now I'm super excited to see like what he's going to have because he's a very, very bright mind when it comes to fighting game. I mean, it's literally his livelihood. Like that's what he lived, breathed, and died for. So I'm excited to see what he has coming. But yeah, I thought he was done, man. Like because Harada has been in the injury for a very long time. So. This is cool though. This is cool. I'm glad he still got it. But now they had me thinking though, what happened with Bandai Namco? Because if you didn't retire, then was there some conflict going on? Like, or did he just really want to make something else? And Bandai Namco was like, no, because it could have very well just been that.
I think with a lot of these like senior developers who have been in the game for so long, I think a lot of them do end up leaving just because they want to either go back to being like hands-on with creating things, and a lot of them at the top are just like doing meetings and managing people, which is not very fun. Or they're just like, yeah, he's been involved with Tekken for so long that he wants to just do something original and fresh from the ground up. So I think, I mean, Bandai could have, supported that, but yeah, maybe there was a conversation where Bandai was like, nah. So he was like, all right, bye. Or he just wanted to just make a completely different thing and get new people and new ideas.
My educated guess, because specifically he went to SNK, because like I said, if you know about fighting games, they make good games, but they've always struggled to cross over into the mainstream and compete with the Mortal Kombats, the Street Fighters, and the Tekkens. My educated guess, SNK said, please, man, we need a big dog that understands how to cross over into the mainstream. Help us do that, and we'll give you full creative control. That's my educated guess.
Yeah, that sounds pretty accurate.
Makes sense to me.
We gonna see though. Looking forward to it. Nintendo announced the Switch 2 Your Game Bundle for a limited time, $500 before the price hike. You can get a Switch 2 with Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, or Pokemon Pokopia. Is that how you pronounce that shit?
Yeah.
So you get a free $30 game with your $500 Switch. Just know that it is a digital code until supplies last at various different stores. Just putting that out there. I don't know if anybody cares.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah,
it's how they get you though.
Hey, and like, Duskbloods they've said that Duskbloods is still coming out this year. So if you're really, yeah.
Need that.
And have it be, well, actually don't do this because I already have a Switch 2, but make a special edition Switch 2 for Duskbloods.
Okay. Special control.
Yes.
One of the things we were worried about for 007 First Light, which comes out, is it this week or next week?
We
end
still
of the
got
month.
another week. Yeah,
Next
so
week, okay.
27, which is a Wednesday.
It's next week, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
It's
were
next week.
concerned about the frame rate when they first revealed it. It was super choppy, but it has been confirmed that 007 First Light will run 60 FPS on the PS5 Pro. So I'm going to assume it's probably going to run decent on PC. And I don't know if y'all seen recent gameplay. It's been running buttery smooth. I think they figured it out.
It looks good. Yeah.
Looks great.
Yeah. Frame rate looks good.
I mean, it's nice to see the progress from, first reveal to now when the game is literally a week away. So it better be, but that's good news. Good news.
Yeah, ball and gun game of the year.
I'll check it out.
And then the Xbox Game Pass Starter Edition is official. If you have Discord Nitro, the $10 a month one, you get a starter version of Game Pass that comes with a bunch of different games, AAA games like Overcooked 2 and DayZ. Now let me stop. You get Gears 5, Doom Eternal, Dishonored 2, all bangers. They're old, but if you haven't played them, Doom Eternal is a fucking great game. I think it's a bonus if you already got Discord Nitro. It's no longer a rumor; it is a thing. There's a gang of different games you're gonna get. I think it's like 50 plus. So make sure to claim your Game Pass if you have Discord Nitro.
Yes.
That's all I got on my show notes. Y'all got anything else y'all want to add before we wrap this one up?
Nope, not me.
I got a free game.
All right,
free
shout it
game.
out. Shout it
Not
out.
a free game. I'm in a game instead of. I got two actually.
Okay.
First, I saw this on Twitter and I almost forgot about it. Still probably we don't have an ETA yet, but it still looked cool. It is called Delivery Must Complete. If you are a fan of Ace Combat, this is a high-speed Ace-like roguelike with SSS style, and you can parry with your jet. So I was like, all right, I'm already sold on this. And then the second one I have, a little bit completely different. I saw this one randomly. I was like, oh, this seems kind of interesting. So this one is called, this is a long name, Valkyrie Iteration Mecha Pilot Raising Pocket Simulator. This
Raising
is
pockets.
Yeah, this is
I found it. It's first thing that came up.
Yeah, this is a I guess like visual novel, like what do they call them? A management simulator. But something that I actually thought I wanted to make a game kind of like this, where you're actually taking care of the pilots that are responsible for the mech. So you're like keeping their upkeep. So if you're like watching Ava, but you're like responsible and not traumatizing the pilot, but instead trying to keep their mental up, like keep their, make sure they're doing exercise, make sure
But they have to deal with some traumatic stuff.
Exactly, and make sure they're ready to fight. Whatever they're gonna fight. To combat simulator. I was like, oh, this is cool. This is a cool little time. So yeah, those are my two recommendations. No ETAs, except for this one's coming out sometime this year. We don't know when. Yeah, that's it.
I have one that again, it's got a release date to be announced, but it looks like it's pretty decently along in development. It's called the Ashen Oz. OZ. It is a action game, dark fantasy, but they're taking on Oz, the Wizard of Oz story. But looking at the art, I was like, I just really like the art. I like the way combat is looking. I like that you're playing as Alice. I like that she has an umbrella. I like the whole vibe of what they're doing. I think is really cool. So I think they responded to me on Twitter saying that they're going to be opening up play tests in their Discord first, and then from there they're going to work on a demo for people to play.
Nope, this copied Silk Song.
It did, yeah.
Silk Song fraud.
It's very, very Silk Songy.
Goodness. All right, I appreciate those shout outs. The gameplay was on the screen if y'all wanted to see them. All right, then. Ladies first, what's the closing statement for episode 190? Watts, go.
If you are a indie developer out there and you have a Souls-like that maybe people haven't heard about, can you please tell me? Because I want to play it, because I don't want to play anything except Souls-likes right now. Thank you.
Mortal Shell 2, drop a release date.
Please, give me the demo's supposed to be out this summer. Can it be now? It's not summer, but I would like to play it now. I'm thirsting. It's been since Neo 3 since I played a game that's like my perfect wheelhouse of a video game. And I'm starting to get hunger pains. Thank you.
Ethos, closing statement, episode 190, go.
Pistons loss. We're in hell once again. Not shocking. Blow up the team. Give Cade some help. Sell Duran to the Lakers for $2 and a stick of gum.
Jokes aside, they might actually blow up the team because I believe Duran was on a contract year.
Yes,
he fucked his money up. He might get traded. Yeah.
Blow up the team. Honestly, keep Unk. keep B-Ball Paul, keep Cade, keep Osser. And,
I'm not giving him 200
team.
million. Not after what he did this.
I get it. He's young. I get he's a young player. It's his first, first big time into like something really big. So, but
Everybody
still, I don't think we got
shit.
the time. Cade, we didn't got time with that with Cade. We need to get him actual people to help him. So, yeah,
that's what it is.
Osser's fire though. Shout out to him, bro. Yeah,
Jay, closing statement.
Yeah. Now I have to. I don't know. Actually, I don't know who I want to win this series now. I mean, I do want the Knicks to lose just so they can cry.
Yeah,
but,
I want the Knicks to lose.
But then again, I don't want the Cavs to win either. So I think I want the.
Doesn't even matter at this point. They're just gonna lose to whoever's on the West.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're gonna lose to whoever's on the West. So it's whatever. On another note,
the real finals, the Spurs versus OKC.
Yeah,
true. On another note, I found this funny. So I have on this Dr. Doom shirt, and my son was like, he said, "Who's that, Daddy?" And I said, "Dr. Doom." He said, "I'm scared." I said, "Well, he's a villain." So I said, "Well, maybe that's accurate, man. That's accurate." So I just wanted to share that. I found that funny today.
You remember the Malcolm in the Middle meme where like his son Dewey asks the father the question, and he's like, everything gets dark, and he looks.
Yeah, he looks so good. I remember that shit. Funny you asked that. Yeah. My closing statement is, the Pistons lost. So like, this is depressing because I was actually rooting for Detroit. This means I have to root between my two least favorite cities, fucking New York or Cleveland.
We don't got to.
I have to root for the Knicks now because like Cleveland deserves to suffer. Actually, you know what? I want the Knicks to win so you guys can get to the finals and get blown out by
lose,
OKC. They're going to get swept in 4 by either team.
Cleveland loses, then the Knicks go to the finals and they get swept, and then it's funny to watch and everyone's crying.
I think about it. Yeah, we'll be all right. Yeah. That's my closing one. If you made it to this far in the episodes, leave in the comment section, #trade Jalen Duren. Other than that, we appreciate everybody who came through. Hit the like button, hit the hype button, rate the show 5 stars, Apple and Spotify, and we will see you on the next episode of the Game Illuminati podcast. Peace.
Bye.
More GTA 6 news.
No!
Wait, I got one more.